the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, the end of the holiday season, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here this week, not the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, more the Leia to my Luke.
Aww.
Our friend and third member of the podcast, Kelly, aka Lunar Girl.
Hey, friends.
What's going on, Kelly?
Not too much. How are you guys doing?
Well, I'm doing great. Dave is apparently, I don't know what Dave's doing. He decided to, on a whim, buy a new car today. So his presence may be delayed a bit. So right now it's just me and Kelly chugging along. And it's the new year. And before we get too much deeper, I do want to say a big happy birthday to my son, Ben.
Happy birthday, Ben.
Today is his birthday. He decided to grace us with his presents 2 days after the new year, and
Nice.
we missed a tax write-off for 2007. But it was for the best. He was actually born 3 months premature.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah, that was a scary time, but he made it, and today is his 15th birthday. So again, happy birthday, Ben. We love you, buddy.
Snaps.
So Kelly, how are you?
I am pretty good, Jason. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. New year, new beginnings. Well, not really. New year, same me. But
Same cup of coffee.
Yeah. I got a Diet Pepsi today. Since Dave's not here, I can my diet soda of choice.
Yeah.
Now, what are we talking about today, Kelly?
We are talking about the music of 1995 today, Jason.
Fucking right. So we're moving along with our music of the 90s, and this episode we're doing 1995, a very special year, especially for you and I.
Yes.
And we'll get into why when we get to the main topic. But
Sounds great.
we've got a ton of more business to take care of first. Do you think we should talk about Patreon?
I think you should talk about Patreon.
All right, then I would love to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons: Shotgun Mark, Lord Helmet Fire, my wonderful mother-in-law Patricia Goodstein, Ivo G, Dragon Buddy, Wally Frogmore, Frank Kalevich, Kristen Roscom, Frederick Martin, Don Solsky, Catherine Rennick, David Schmuck, Scott and Kim from the Use and Abuse podcast, Nicholas Schaefer, and Nick from Swede Studios. Which, by the way, Kelly, we can say today, one last time, you are still our reigning fantasy football champion for one last day.
I'm still the champion for one last day.
Yeah, so enjoy it, live it up, because tomorrow we will have a new champion. But
yes, we will.
Much to his chagrin, it is not today. So
you should probably feel pretty good that Swede beat your wife in fantasy football, because to my understanding, if Kristen had won, there would be some very embarrassing pictures of you released in the Sidebar Cantina.
that is very true, and I do thank the maker that they weren't revealed, but I was still pulling for her in the end. I would have liked to have seen her win. Nothing against Swede. He's a good friend as well, but you know, I always got to support the wife.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be this time. So
she played hard this year.
She did.
I can't wait to talk about it on Wednesday.
She kicked my ass every time.
She did.
I can't beat women in fantasy football. That's apparently my thing. I always lose. I always lose to the women. So,
I can attest to that.
Yep, so I might as well just accept that fate. Anyway, finishing up the Patreon. If you'd like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/the Sidebar Cantina. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. You are the reason why we do this. And over to you, Kelly. What you got for Red 5?
I have some shout outs today that I feel are very important to make. The first shout out I want to make is to Micah, aka I Am Star Wars Tom on Instagram. Over the past couple of months, Micah has been a dream with sharing all of our Star Wars content, our Star Wars schedules, even right down to our daily coffee posts. You know, he'll share in his stories. So want to shout out Micah. You are awesome, sir. Second shout out I want to make is to a very important member of the Monkey Lizard Army. His name is Rolando for all of our Sidebar Cantina family. Rolando has quickly become a Red 5 superfan. And not only does he pop into our sidebar chats, he continuously works hard to spread our sidebar YouTube link in all of the Monkey Lizards live streams. He is like right there with his blue wrench. He's like the male equivalent to me over in the Monkey Lizard Army. So Rolando, you freaking rock, sir. Thank you for getting the sidebar out there to all of the Monkey Lizard Army. We're starting to call each other Red Rum, where some of us Red Fivers and some of the Monkey Lizard armies are like combining forces. So like
Nice.
hashtag Red Rum. I believe DB came up with that with Shanti and Josh. One last thing, a big welcome to all of our new subscribers. We are up to 442 Sidebar Cantina subscribers. Oh, no,
No, it doesn't work.
It didn't work there. No.
Damn it. All right.
So just wanted to say welcome to the sidebar, you guys. Usually if you're on Instagram or Twitter, just wanted to let you know you're talking to me. But all of your messages get to the guys, if you want to contact them in any way or form. So awesome. And just wanted to shout everybody out like that. It's nice to start off the year right.
Indeed. Very much so. And thank you again to everybody. So this is the part where we normally get into our week. So you ready to do that?
I'm ready to do that.
All right. Well, I will get us started, and I've got a ton of stuff to talk about. So first of all, still recovering from Christmas, New Year's, my birthday. Like I said, today in our household is the official end of the holiday season because it's Ben's birthday, the day after New Year's. So now... After today, we can finally all rest and recover. Our house is a disaster. There's still Christmas wrapping everywhere.
Of course.
It's, it is what it is when you have a big family and lots of birthdays all in one. But now we're finally getting over the holiday hangover. But I have got a ton of stuff to show off. First of all, a birthday gift that I got from Kristen. This kind of completes a set of things that she started getting me last year. And it is an Xbox controller.
Ooh!
It's Stormtrooper themed. So if you remember, in the previous year, she got me a Darth Vader and a Boba Fett Xbox controller. And now I have the Stormtrooper to go with it. So... Thank you, Kristen. This is awesome. In fact, I kept this in the box because I wanted to wait until I got to reveal it on the show before I actually busted it out and used it. But I love these controllers. They're made by Razer, and if anybody is not familiar with Razer, they are the best peripheral creators out there. They make great PC peripherals, consoles, controllers, just incredible, absolutely incredible. So now the set is complete. Now I have all of the Star Wars controllers. Probably more than I need, but what are you going to do? And as always, I have additions to... Well, first of all, I got a shitload of Black Series figures for Christmas.
Yes, you did.
I did my own live stream because I didn't want to waste too much time on the show revealing them all, but Kristen bought me 37...
I'm 37!
Additions to...
Sacred Jedi Black Series!
And you can see a bunch of them on the wall behind me. I'm still working on making space. Dave was supposed to come over early today, and we were going to do some rearranging, but shit happens.
Good job, Dave.
Yeah. But because I finally knew what Black Series figures I had coming to me for Christmas, that allowed me to... Everything okay?
I just got hit with something.
Is it that leaf that's kind of dangling by your head?
It's a French fry.
Did somebody throw a French fry at you?
Yes, DB threw a French fry at me.
Tell him he's distracting you from...
I think it was a chat. I see Don Della Snooch said, Chris, go throw a potato at Kelly.
Oh, they're egging him on. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, once I found out what Black Series figures I got for Christmas, I was able to then buy ones that I've had my eye on for a while. So I have a bunch more additions to
the Sacred Jedi Black Series!
First off, Kristen bought me this one. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little Grogu. In this tiny little Black Series box. But the Grogu, the Grogu himself is to scale with the other Black Series figures, even though it's in this tiny box. Sure smell.
So smart. So cute.
Yep. Then, if you noticed on the when I did my big Christmas reveal, I got the one guy from A New Hope. The he doesn't like you, the walrus face dude. But I didn't have Doctor Evazan, so I went and I finished the set and got Doctor Evazan.
Oh, nice.
I don't like you either. Also, I have a Fennec Shand, but I don't have a Boba Fett. So, a Boba Fett from the Mandalorian universe. So I got the Throne Room Boba Fett with the helmet that comes off.
Nice.
It's a very nice one.
I love boba.
Yep. Also, I have all of the figures from Rogue One. It's kind of hard to see, but I have them all except for Jyn Erso until now. Now I have a Jyn Erso.
Aw.
Then I realized I have now, after getting Lando, I have all of the characters, the original trilogy characters, except for Han Solo. So I had to get myself a Han Solo.
Han. Oh, he is so sexy.
Indeed, he is.
He is sexy.
I'm just putting all of these Black Series figures in Dave's spot, so when he gets here, he's going to have to knock them all over. So this one is pretty cool. If you remember, we talked about the Star Wars Infinities comic book, which was like the alternate universe.
Yeah.
And the one they did for Return of the Jedi had Darth Vader turning good, surviving Return of the Jedi, and joining Luke and Leia in a white version of his outfit.
Look at that.
Yeah, this is pretty sweet. I know a lot of people kind of cringed at that part in the comic, but I mean, you can't argue with how sweet this looks. The Darth Vader.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, got that edition, and then finally the Piece of Resistance. I guess this was a San Diego Comic-Con figure. It is from War of the Bounty Hunters. It is another Boba Fett, and he's in all black.
Oh, so sexy.
Yeah, so it's a Boba
So
Fett.
sexy.
They say it's in disguise. I guess dyeing his armor all black is a disguise. I don't know. But yeah, I've had my eye on that for a while. When I didn't get it for Christmas, I'm like, click, click, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's all the newest additions too.
The sacred Jedi. Pixies!
So nice.
Yeah, and that's pretty much been my week. Oh, one other thing I wanted to talk about that I forgot to put in the notes.
Yeah.
Watched the Christmas Story sequel that came out this year.
How was that?
I liked it.
You did?
From the trailer, it did not look good at all. And it started off kind of slow, but once it picked up and started going, it was actually an enjoyable movie for people who like the original Christmas Story. So
Right. I've been on the fence. Like, I don't need to watch a sequel or a reboot or whatever you want to call them. Like, I don't like change.
Yeah.
I don't like change. So I was like, me.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard mixed reviews, but for me, I'm the type of guy that would watch A Christmas Story every single year. Back when they would do the 24 hours of A Christmas Story, I'd just keep it on in the background. And yeah, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the sequel. It wasn't that bad.
Awesome.
So, since Dave's not here to rant about Dave ranting things, what have you been up to, Kelly?
First, I want to call out. I see we have a brand new person in our chat, Spice Runners Lounge. Welcome to the Sidebar Cantina.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, the chat is hopping tonight. Like, dude, you guys all freaking rock. But my week, or weeks, my oldest Padawan came home from Michigan to spend the holiday with us.
Very nice.
So, she was here up until she left on Thursday to hit Philadelphia. She was down by you guys for the weekend, spending it with her college roommate and a whole bunch of their mutual friends. We had a quiet weekend here at home, just myself and DB and our youngest Padawan. Scare After Dark. We rang in the new year on, well, I was in the live chat of Scare After Dark. They had one hell of a rockin' live stream, which our own Sidebar Cantina family member Keith Lehman from Layman's Terms was in. It was, I was like, holy shit, that's Keith. So that was really cool to see him. Other than that, nothing much happened. Just the regular rigmarole. It was nice spending time with them. I did drive down all the way to Allentown, so I was like halfway to you guys today. I should have just kept on going and gone to your studio.
I know, right?
Sat in Dave's chair, but picked up oldest Padawan from, her weekend in Philadelphia. And
she survived.
No. She survived, yes. 24 years old, weekend full of friends and drinking, so yeah, you know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
I got some Sacred Jedi Pops for Christmas.
You mean
The Sacred Jedi
Pops?
Yes. And it was this beautiful 5-pack of the Bad Batch.
Very nice.
We've got Hunter and Echo, Tech, Wrecker, and Crosshair.
Yep.
I need Omega. I don't have an Omega.
Yeah, you got to get Omega to complete the
I
set.
gotta get Omega. I need Omega.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for the Bad Batch on Wednesday. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And we got a little tiny itty bitty Fennec Shand pop keychain. And
nice.
all of the Red Fivers know that whenever you have a Fennec, you have to lick her. You have to lick a Fennec.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, I must
You
have
lick a
missed that.
Fennec. Yeah. all the Red Fivers know. I'll fill you in later, but yeah, you have to lick a Fennec.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's basically my weeks.
All right. Well, then I guess we're going to hop right into the main topic. Still no Dave. Again, to just remind everybody, Dave, he decided to buy a car on a whim, and he's still at the dealership, I guess, haggling. Or maybe he just said, fuck it, I'm not going to the podcast. I'm going to watch the Rose Bowl instead. So,
that's what it is. He's blaming it on the car, but he's really watching the Rose Bowl.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
God damn it, Dave. So,
But it's okay. We have Swede and Dragon Buddy in the chat. So keep me posted on the scores. I'm reading the chat. So yeah.
All right. So the year was 1995.
Mhm.
95. And it was such an interesting year for myself, and I'm sure for you as well.
Oh yeah.
And of course, we're talking about the music. This was the last year, and we might as well just start talking about where we were before we get into the this or that. For me, I wrote from high school to Air Force, because when I started the year 1995, I was still in high school, senior year of high school. No fucking clue what the hell I wanted to do with myself after high school. I just assumed go to the local community college like everybody did, and just keep moving on. But by the time I got to the end of 95, I had already done one semester of college, realized this wasn't for me, and joined the Air Force on a whim. So by the time 95 closed, I had already signed paperwork to go into the Air Force, and I shipped out the first week of February. So that's kind of where I was personally with 95. But 95 was the year that I graduated high school, which was pretty huge. It was also probably the last year that I was really in tune with current music. I mean, I still followed it pretty well over the next few years, up through about 99, 2000. But 95 was the last year where I would, sit in front of MTV all day and watch music videos and listen to the local radio station. And I have more to say about that here in a minute. But yeah, it was the last year that I really was that in tune with music, and it was also the last year that I really followed country music, because we've talked about it as we've done these first few years of the 90s, where based on the nature of where I was, where I grew up, what my family listened to, what the girls at my high school listened to, country music was part of as much of my upbringing as rock and everything else. So,
well, not only that, like country music had a big crossing with pop music in 95. A lot of the country hits would show up in the pop charts. So, that was a big year for that.
Yeah, and
Shania Twain and
oh yeah, well, we may
I don't know
be
country,
talking about
but
her again later. But
Yeah.
but obviously Garth Brooks too was like the big
Garth,
crossover in the early
Tim
90s.
McGraw.
Yeah, I think this was like one of Tim McGraw's first years too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this was probably the last year that I was really following country on a regular basis because again, after I joined the Air Force and shipped off, that part of me stayed in Bakersfield, California.
Right.
It was also when my love affair with Mariah Carey started to fade because it's also
thank God.
it's also well noted that I was quite enamored with Mariah Carey in the early 90s, but she had a release in 95, late 95, Daydream, which was not a favorite of mine by any stretch. And then everything she released after that, I liked less and less, like every single release. So
yeah,
that's that. But now I want to talk about something very special because we had talked about some Christmas presents and stuff that I had gotten before. There's one more.
I know what this is.
Yeah, so apparently you knew about this.
I knew about it.
So when we started doing the music of the 90s, I think it was in 91, I was talking to Dave about this radio station I used to listen to in my hometown, KRAB, Crab Radio. It was the only like rock station in my hometown at the time that would play the music that me and my friends listened to. And specifically, I talked about one DJ who had a show on that was like very popular with me and my group of friends. He was on late at night. It was the Dark Knight Show with the real Bruce Wayne. And I had mentioned that. And apparently Kristen heard that and took note of it because when she gave me one of my Christmas presents this year, it blew my fucking mind. Kristen is the queen of gift giving. 100%.
Oh, she is. She totally is.
So
she beats me by a million.
Yeah. So here is what she presented me with this Christmas. I open up this box and I see there's a T-shirt in here. T-shirt. Oh, my voice just cracked. A Metallica T-shirt, but it's also got some writing on it, and it says, "Rock on, Jason. Thanks for listening. The Dark Knight Show with the real Bruce Wayne." I'm like, what the hell? And I look over at her and she's just got this big grin on her face. And then she's like, keep looking. And then inside is a letter. And this is typed on like a word processor, printed up and signed, hand signed. And it's the Dark Knight Show with the real Bruce Wayne. Dear Jason, how's it going, my little whisker biscuit? That was one of the many funny terms that he would use on the show. I was recently contacted by your wife through Facebook Messenger, and she informed that you used to be a fan of the Dark Knight Show. She also asked if it was possible for me to sign something from KRAB for you and send it out your way. Unfortunately, as the years have passed and all my old KRAB merch has either been given away, lost, or gifted to women with low self-esteem in an attempt for me to gain certain favors, I will not elaborate on that statement since I'm guessing your wife will be reading this. Anyway, since I am fresh out of actual KRAB merch, I hope you will accept this Metallica shirt in its stead. Metallica has always been one of my favorite bands, and as I am sure you are aware, they were one of the core artists of KRAB, which is true. That was, again, we're talking the early 90s when the Black Album came out, and Metallica was huge, and they would play a lot of their old backlog. It was awesome. Thank you, my little crotch tater, for listening back in the day. And please know, and again, another one of his terms, and know that it means the world to me that you still have fond memories of the Dark Knight Show. Growing up, I was always told it is better to be seen and not heard, but I found through the years it is always a lot more fun to be heard but not seen. May the fates be kind to you and yours, my friend. Sincerely, the real Bruce Wayne. And he signed and dated it at the bottom there.
That is so freaking cool.
That blew my fucking mind because again, I was such a huge fan of that show.
Yeah.
And I would listen to him every single night, even on school nights, just because his show was great. He was entertaining. He always had these little quips and things that he would talk about in between songs. And when she gave me that, I could not fucking believe it. The fact that she reached out to him, she was able to get a hold of him. He actually had something to sign and actually sent it to me. Yeah. And Mr. Wayne, if you're listening, thank you, sir. You are the fucking best.
Snap, snap.
Yes, snap.
Snap.
So yeah, that's where I was in 95. And again, I was still listening to the Dark Knight Show at that point in 95.
Mhm.
And yeah, just I couldn't go this episode without mentioning that.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, Kelly, what were you up to in 95?
Well, in 95, I turned 18 years old and I also graduated in June of 95.
Yeah.
However, I did not go running off to college because I wanted to work first.
Mhm.
I only had like one tiny little spat of a job my whole teenage years. One, because I wasn't allowed to drive yet. I had, one of those moms. And two, my mom always said I needed to concentrate on my studies. So graduated high school immediately, like 2 days after graduation, I was waitressing. The first real job that I ever had. And my very first customer, I flipped a pizza upside down on the floor in front of him. So, but from there, I did get my license. I did get a second waitressing job, and I was all set. In January of 96, I was going to start college at Penn State.
Nice.
I was going to start for journalism. And then actually, it was tomorrow is the anniversary of when my Dodge 600 caught fire in my driveway and was completely totaled.
Holy
I
shit.
never went to college then. Well, I didn't go to Penn State. I did eventually go to college, but from there, it led me to working at Kmart. I quit the waitressing thing. Minimum waitressing wage back then was only $2 and change an hour.
Right.
Because
So
you
it was
have
like
to
all
remember,
the-
1995,
Yeah.
minimum wage was only like $4.20, I think.
25 is what I made at my first
25.
jobs. Yep.
Yeah. So quit waitressing, started working at Kmart, and that's when I met the man that would eventually become my husband. So
Yes, good old Dragon
Yeah.
Buddy.
yeah. But it was also, I don't know about you, but it was also really hard because all of my friends either went away to college or the Air Force, Swede, looking at you. And I was like freaking alone, it was a rough year. So music has always been my life, but it was especially necessary for those 8 months, wrapping up the end of 95 from June until December.
Yeah.
Music was really important.
It's funny too because like I was the complete opposite with friends. Like nobody ever left my hometown. Like I was the exception to the rule. Like everybody stayed in my hometown. Like my core group of friends stayed together, kept hanging out after high school and everything. And I was the one. I was the exception that decided to bounce and go somewhere else and leave everybody else behind. So
Yeah.
a little bit opposite for me.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, music was still a huge part of my life at that point. And here's one interesting thing. So after I had gone through basic training in the Air Force the next year in 96, my mother came out to visit me because you're allowed a 1-day pass where you can go out into town, spend it with your family and all that after you graduate from basic training. And one of the things that I asked my mom to bring when she came out was my Sony Walkman. I had a Discman, that played CDs and had the headphones, and I had to bring a bunch of my CDs. And there was a picture of me in her rental car. I'm just like laying back, eyes closed, headphones on. I'm still in my uniform because we had to be in uniform at all times. So I'm in my blues, and I'm just like eyes closed, headphones on, because this is the first time I'd listened to any music in a month and a half, because basic training, you're locked away. You don't get any kind of freedom, entertainment, none of that. And I had Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. That's what I was listening to in that picture. So, I wanted to find that picture before this episode so I could post it on our Facebook group, but I couldn't find it in time. But yeah, I know my mom's got that picture somewhere. And it's just, again, me at the end of basic training, just sitting back and just listening to this music for the first time in weeks. So that just goes to show you how important music was for me at the time. And the fact that it was, a CD that came out in 95. That I was
it did. I've got a lot to say about one of those songs, but we'll get to that later.
All right. Excellent. So anything else for your 95 before we move on to this or that?
No, it was a huge year of me making that transition from, 18 to holy shit, I'm a legal adult now, and just really finding myself, when you spend a lot of time alone, you really start to find out who you are, and you don't have your friends to bounce off of,
Yeah. No, I believe it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you did a Instagram poll this last weekend.
I did.
Did you not?
I did. And a Twitter poll.
Yes. So, well, let's start with the Instagram, or do you want to just do them both kind of simultaneous? How do you want to present this? Because you're the one
I will do them both simultaneously because they are the same exact questions.
All right.
And the scores are very similar.
All right. And before we get into it, what is our Instagram and Twitter?
Our Instagram is at the Sidebar Cantina. Twitter is at Sidebar Cantina. No the at Twitter.
We're not.
I don't know why Dave did that. I didn't do it. I would have kept it.
Yeah, it's definitely Dave's fault.
We can blame
him since he's not here.
Yeah. Maybe he was buying his car that day or something. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got?
First thing we started off with, this band spoke to your inner hipster, and it was Blues Traveler against Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, that's an easy one. I mean, for me, it was Blues Traveler.
Yes.
Not to
for
say
me, it
that
was also Blues Traveler.
Yeah, not to say that I didn't listen to Hootie and the Blowfish at the time. I mean, they were all over. You couldn't not listen to them. But I mean, I enjoyed the Blues Travelers music, especially like as the years have progressed. It's like, oh God, why did I ever listen to that Hootie? In fact,
it was like new and refreshing, and he played the harmonica,
Yeah. Kristen made a great comparison with Hootie and the Blowfish. She's like, they were the who's the look at this photograph.
Nickelback.
Yeah, they were like the Nickelback of the mid 90s.
Yeah,
and the Blowfish.
That's exactly how I felt about Hootie and the Blowfish too, because it was so played out, like it was so played out that I developed a hatred of Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh yeah.
And even today, even though those songs are like major hits of 95, I turn it off immediately if I hear them come on.
Yeah.
Sirius XM. I just can't do it. Just can't do it.
Yep. So, but yeah, no, for me, Blues Traveler, it would have been Blues Traveler in 95, and it's still them now.
Yes. And that's what our Instagram followers voted. They voted Blues Traveler 57 to 43.
Okay.
Twitter, it was a tie. It was
really?
50-50. Yeah.
That's interesting that either one was so close, because quite frankly, I just assumed Blues Traveler would run away with this one.
Yeah, that's a song.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're going to give me the run around. Oh, it's run around, not run away. Okay.
Yeah. And Bronco Fett mentioned in the chat that, Hootie does country now, or the lead singer.
He does. Darius
Rucker, right?
Rucker, yes.
Yeah. So he's doing country music now, of all things, which is funny. But anywho, we digress.
He's very good. He's got a good voice. It just got played out. Can't stand him now.
Yeah, fun fact too about the Blues Traveler. Their album 4 was actually released in 94, but they didn't start releasing the singles Run Around or Hook until 95. So that's why it kind of falls into the category at 95, because
one of those crossovers.
They spilled over into the next year. So just a little interesting factoid about that one. But it
definitely
still counts. Still counts. 95.
Still counts.
Yeah.
I count it. Yeah. So my second question, in an epic rap battle, who would you pick? Notorious B.I.G. or Tupac?
I mean, for me, I'm a California guy, so I got to go with Tupac. In fact, I
Mhm.
didn't even know who. Here's a funny story because like we were so segregated, the West Coast and the East Coast rap. I
Mhm.
didn't even know who Notorious B.I.G. or Puff Daddy were until I got to the East Coast in
Wow.
'96. Like I'd never even heard of either of them before. Like I knew who
Wow.
Dre and Tupac and Snoop Dogg and all those guys were, but
Mhm.
never even heard of Biggie or fucking Puff Daddy until
Puff
I got out
Daddy,
here. Yeah,
Snoop Dogg, Snoop Dogg.
yeah,
I chose Notorious B.I.G.
really. Well,
East
that
Coaster.
probably because you're East Coast. Yeah,
Mhm.
so
Yeah. And actually, our Instagram followers picked Notorious B.I.G. over Tupac, 60 to 40%.
okay.
And also on Twitter, but extremely close, 56 to 44%.
Yeah, that sounds about
Mhm.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would expect them to be fairly close.
Yeah,
Um,
extremely close. Actually, I think most of these were extremely close. There's a couple.
yeah,
Yeah, I lied. I
and two
lied.
guys. I think they both died in '96, right?
I'm
Biggie and
pretty sure they
Tupac.
did. Actually, did Tupac die in 95?
No, I'm
Was
pretty
it
sure he.
96?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got killed in '96, and I think they both
Yeah.
did. Honestly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
or it could have been
Anyway.
'97, but it was right after this.
hmm
So
So there were some super mega chick albums that came out this year.
oh yeah.
Chick lead singers, they're so angsty. So in a
Well,
chick
one in particular.
takeover.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of them were, yeah.
Yeah.
Who would win? You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette, or I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt.
So this is another one of those ones where the No Doubt Tragic Kingdom came out in '95,
Mhm.
but they didn't really become that popular until '96 when
Mhm.
Don't Speak and all that came out. But yeah, Just a Girl, I do remember getting a decent amount of airplay and all that. But I mean,
Mhm.
to me, '95 was the year of Alanis. That's like that was her year. If everybody
Yes.
was talking about it, whether you liked her or not, she was
Mhm.
everywhere in '95, and she scared the piss out of a lot of men
Yes.
with some of her music too. So, and we're gonna talk about her a little bit
Mhm.
later, but yeah, no, I had to go with Alanis for that one.
Again,
And
I'm saving my Alana story for later. I
okay,
also went with You Ought to Know. And everybody, no, Instagram did 59 to 41%.
okay,
However, on Twitter, they picked I'm Just a Girl 56 to 44%. So,
okay. And I
yeah,
love seeing that difference between Twitter and Instagram, and there's got to be
always.
something to that,
Mhm.
as far as who occupies those different social media realms.
Exactly. We definitely have different generations through all of our socials.
Yeah,
So it's really cool.
yeah, for
I think
sure.
it's neat. I think it's neat.
Yeah.
So 1995, this was your rock anthem on life. Okay. We
Mm-hmm.
have Bullet with Butterfly Wings, Smashing Pumpkins. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Lives, Lightning Crashes, which is a beautiful song about life and birth and the constant circle that it goes around.
Yep. And I went with Live. This was a no-brainer for me.
Mhm.
I always liked that song anyway, but I also have never liked Smashing Pumpkins. I can't stand Billy Corgan's voice.
Mhm.
I don't think they made a single song that I ever enjoyed. And I could tip even if I hated an artist and hated most of what they've done, I could
Mhm.
pick out one track that I did like. I don't think I could tell you a single Smashing Pumpkins song that I ever enjoyed. I hate his voice. I hate their style. It's just not my thing.
You see, I might like 2 songs by them
Hmm.
because I just can't stand Billy Corgan. I think he's overrated. I think he is a pompous asshole.
Really?
Yeah, go screw Billy Corgan. But they did have some good music. And if I step away from my own feelings on him, they did come out like Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness that came out in 95. That was a 2-disc album, with a almost a completely new sound. 95 was when grunge and alternative and rock started evolving into all of these different subcultures, subgenres. So it was a very different sound. Personally, like I said, I voted for Lightning Crashes. I did like Live. I really liked Throwing Copper. Our Instagram listeners, they went with Lightning Crashes, 80% to 20%.
Oh, okay.
And Twitter went with Lightning Crashes, 71% to 29%.
Oh, that's the biggest differential so far.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I was a little shocked on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So next, I decided to go off to see This Industrial Album Had You Thrashing, because industrial rock was really getting huge. You know, I think between like 93 and 98, it was getting really, really big, you know, with 9 Inch Nails and, you know, Fear Factory and, you know, all that new stuff. I did put down the albums to choose from were Fear Factory's Demanufacture and White Zombie's Astro Creep 2000.
For me, it was White Zombie. I liked their style. I liked Rob Zombie, and I bought this album when it first came out. I liked More Human Than Human and a couple of the songs on it. So that was the one that spoke to me. And Fear Factory, honestly, I'm not that familiar with their work. Maybe if I heard some of their music, I know what it was, but yeah, that's a little bit outside of what I was listening to on a regular basis.
Well, in 95, well, actually around 94, I started going clubbing, you know. So I really enjoyed Fear Factory. You can dance to it. Couldn't dance to it now like I did back then, though, but, you know.
Right.
A landslide. Instagram went with Astro Creep, White Zombies, 73 to 27%. Okay. And again, on Twitter, 75 to 25%. So they were almost, you know, twinsies.
Yeah.
Twinsies.
Yeah, maybe the rest of the people were like me and they're just like, who was Fear Factory again?
They had I would say like maybe 2 or 3 really great songs on Demanufacture, but I have a very huge love for White Zombie and Rob Zombie. So, you know, same guy, different band name.
Yeah, for sure.
And I had to throw one bonus question in for all us Gen Xers.
All right, what you got?
Your children now know this dance. We have Cotton Eye Joe and we have Tootsie Roll.
I mean, I would have picked Cotton Eye Joe for myself. But I mean, as far as like kids knowing it, I don't know if my kids would recognize either of those, honestly. But they'd probably recognize Tootsie Roll over Cotton Eye Joe. Maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure which one of those has stood the test of time more. Because, you know, I've got my own personal biases out there, but I definitely would have gone with the rednecks on that one.
Oh, yeah. I went with Tootsie Roll because actually, my kids know both of those songs, but I went with Tootsie Roll only because, like, I saw my oldest Padawan doing that dance once, and I'm like, you know this song? She's, like, doing the Superman, and I'm like, get out of here. So I went with Tootsie Roll on that, but I am the minority because on Instagram, Cotton Eye Joe seems to be what the kids are doing right now, 81 to 19%. And over on Twitter, Cotton Eye Joe, 70 to 30%.
All right. So here's another fun fact as I was doing research for this episode. Apparently the Rednecks actually did more than one song. They actually had more than that one hit. And it was one song where it was like that girl was singing through the whole song. I'm like, what the hell is this? So, yeah, apparently they actually tried to do more than one thing.
I'm going to totally call out Dragon Buddy. He owned this cassette tape. Nice. It was a cassette tape because I remember looking at it. I did not care for it. And he invented, before everybody else did, he invented his own dance to go with that song that he titled the Redneck Stomp. And I can attest to seeing him do it back in 1996. Yeah.
I don't suppose that's on video anywhere.
Of course not. We didn't have cell phones in 96.
I know. Wishful thinking. I'd pay to see that, though. I'll just say that. Oh, man.
Yeah, all of us Gen Xers are safe because
Mhm.
there were no cameras on our cell phones.
Yep. So that's everything for the Instagram and the Twitter polls, right?
Everything, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And once
Mhm.
again, what are our Instagram and Twitter?
Our Instagram is at the Sidebar Cantina, and our Twitter is at Sidebar Cantina. And I run both of them. So if you guys want to talk to me, DMs, hi. But any messages that you need to get to Jason and Dave when Dave is here, still hit me up through there too.
Yep. All of our messages are go through Kelly. So
Mhm. Yep.
she's the great filter.
Yeah, so don't send them any boob pics because, I see them first, but fuck it. Send them boob pics. I don't care.
All right. She said it, not me, but since she did say it, go ahead and do that. All right. So let's talk some more music of 95. I have a list of some major music events that happened that year.
Yes.
And first of all, as I'm going through, one of the things that I look at is the Wikipedia page, because Wikipedia has some nice, this is
It really
everything that
did.
happened in music in this year.
Yeah.
And I'm going through the events, and there were so many arrests for drug possession. So many,
Mhm.
think about every single alternative band. I'm sure Scott Weiland was on there a couple of times.
Oh, I'm
Members
sure
of
it
Guns-
was.
Yeah, members of Guns N' Roses, so many arrests for drug possession, and a lot of it was heroin, because
Heroin was
apparently
huge.
the big thing in the mid '90s.
Mhm.
But fuck, man, these people were partying hard, and they did not give a shit.
Yep.
Hence a lot of the people that died from ODs and everything.
Yep.
In those days. But yeah,
Yep.
fuck, that was something that just every other line, it was this guy was arrested, this guy was arrested, this person was arrested. It's like, Jesus, take it easy, guys. Shit,
Yep.
save some for the 2000s.
Mhm.
We had some pretty big deaths. For me, this one kind of hit
Yeah.
hard. Eazy-E from NWA. I was a huge NWA fan in the
Mhm.
80s, and I think early 90s too. I think they broke up in
Mhm.
90, 91.
I think you're right.
But yeah, Eazy-E died of AIDS. And
Yeah.
it was a very sudden thing. Now, I don't know how true it was, but that movie they did, I think it was Boys in the Hood. It was the NWA
Yeah.
kind of biography movie that
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out several years back. They did the whole Eazy-E thing
Mhm.
where basically he found out he had AIDS after he was way, way too far gone.
Right.
And he died not long after he was diagnosed, within weeks, I guess.
I remember that. Mhm.
Yeah. And again, somebody who was a huge Eazy-E fan. I loved NWA. I even liked some of his solo stuff that came out after they split up. In fact, I liked him a lot more than Dr. Dre, which when we talked about previous years, I was not a big Dr. Dre fan at all until this year. And then there were a couple of tracks that I did like. But yeah, I was always an Eazy-E fan, and he died this year.
Yeah.
So Selena, who I think, yeah, I think most people probably didn't know who she was until this happened, because she was getting ready to release this album in the U.S. She was about ready to have this mainstream release, and she was murdered by her former assistant and the president of her fan club. After apparently she fired the girl because she was stealing money, and the girl fucking murdered her. And her album came out a couple months later, and it was the top album, had a lot of hit songs on it, and it was a real shame, she was killed before she, really got her mainstream fame. I guess she was already pretty big in Latin America, but she was her, her big English debut. And but yeah, no,
So sad.
life and a career cut short. So and her album, when it did debut later that year, the Dreaming of You album, it debuted at number one when it
Yeah, it did.
So here's one. Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead.
Yes, that was a big one that hit me. But he was
Yeah.
he was older, but not that
he
old.
wasn't. See, and that's what kills me. So, growing up, I always knew of the Grateful Dead. They had one music video that got play on MTV sometimes. I was familiar with them. I was familiar with the following they had, the Deadheads. You know
Yeah.
how they would have people that would follow them from town to
Yeah. I mean,
town.
everybody knew what the Dead Bears were,
Yeah,
everybody knew.
yeah. So it was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's kind of neat that they have this cult following. And
Hmm.
I'd see like clips from them at concerts, and I'd see their music video, and you'd see Jerry Garcia's got this massive mane of fucking just
Yeah.
poofy gray hair, and I'm like, God,
Hmm.
this guy must be like, he's like 75 or something like that.
Nope.
He was 53 when he died.
53.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm like, fuck, I'm almost 53, like,
Not yet, Roscoe.
no, I know.
We're like, well, I'm turning the same age as you next week, but
Yeah, that's
we're
true.
not that old yet. So
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I know.
at the time, looking at him, you think like, oh, this is some decrepit old man. But no,
Yeah.
he was only 53 when he fucking died, which
Yeah.
is crazy, especially when you see people like the fucking Rolling Stones who are still out there playing fucking concerts. Keith Richards is somehow still fucking alive.
Yeah.
But
He's like fermented. He's gonna last forever.
I guess,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
these guys are still kicking out there, and Jerry Garcia just happened to die, at 53.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame. Like, I was never a huge Grateful Dead fan, but I respected like the following they had and everything, and I didn't
Mhm.
dislike anything of theirs.
Yeah.
But it was still sad to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was a reunion of sorts in '95, and I specifically remember this pretty well. It was the Beatles quote unquote reunion.
Hmm.
So they put together a new compilation album, the number ones,
Yeah.
and they also released a new track because
Yes.
before John Lennon was killed, he had
Mhm.
recorded a bunch of stuff in his studio, and he had all these unfinished tracks.
Yeah.
And they took one of his unfinished tracks, and the living Beatles, the three who were still alive, they recorded more vocals over that already recorded John Lennon track to release a new Beatles track, Free
Which
as a
was
Bird.
amazing.
Yeah,
I believe it was only done like one other time, and that was with like Natalie Merchant and her
Yep.
dad.
Yep, yeah,
Yeah.
Unforgettable. Yeah,
Unforgettable,
so-
yeah.
So yeah, using kind of some studio magic and
Not Natalie Merchant.
Natalie Cole.
Natalie Cole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, Natalie Merchant was the 10,000 Maniacs girl who actually had a solo album in '95.
I'm playing Dave tonight, so comes
yeah,
with the
no
brain
worries.
fog.
Yep. It's not an episode of the show without somebody forgetting.
Oh yeah,
things and
absolutely.
plugging it out. But yeah, so they had this sort of Beatles reunion, and honestly, this was like my first real experience with the Beatles because growing up, they were never on my radar or my thing, so this was
Yeah.
my first real exposure to them, and I actually enjoyed the "Free as a Bird" song. I think I bought
I
the
did
single.
too.
I think I bought either the cassette or the CD single. I think at this point in '95, and you can tell me where you were, but I think I was 100% CDs at this point.
I was still tapes because
still
I
on
was a little
cassettes?
poor girl. Remember I was waitressing.
True.
So I was still tapes. I saved forever to get that first anthology of the Beatles.
Oh, really?
I liked the Beatles. I enjoyed the Beatles, but we were with radio stations in the country. Like we've said it on past episodes. I really didn't get too many radio stations. So I believe the anthology, that first anthology, it was a 2-cassette album, and it cost $29.99.
Mm.
So I saved forever, and I got it, and I loved it. I played the crap out of that.
Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I remember that being a huge deal, and this was towards the end of '95, but I remember it being a big thing,
Yeah.
and people were very excited about it. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, I don't know how like the hardcore Beatles fans from the early days, from the '60s, took to it, but I thought it was neat. It was a neat
Yeah.
concept.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, those were some of the major events musically that I had for '95.
Yeah.
I was looking for things like a Lollapalooza or something like that, but no Woodstock, no nothing like that in '95.
No, nothing really big. Nothing really big at all. O.J. Simpson. I remember that was 95, wasn't
That is
it?
true. Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
famous freeway car chase and the trial of the century.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think anything musically tied into that.
Here, I'll do this in Dave's place.
Oh, okay. So we you're saying
Since
we should
you're
take
at
a
a-
break before we
Yeah,
move on?
yeah.
All right. Well, then we are going to do that. We are going to take a very quick break,
All right.
situate ourselves, and be ready to finish up our main topic because we've still got more to go. We've got our top 5 list.
Oh yeah.
We've got to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about all like the top singles and the top
The
albums. of the year.
mixtape.
And-
Yes.
and
Our new
yes.
Spotify playlist that you
Yes.
guys helped me make. So,
So,
yeah. I'll
yeah,
be right back.
We're going to take a very quick break and be right back after this word from our sponsors. All right. And you're free to go. I'll stay here. I saw we had a ton of people in the chat, so thank you, everyone. There's no way I'm going to be able to respond to everybody, but yeah, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat so far. And yeah, we do have a lot to go. Oh, and I just got a text from Dave. He said he should be here in time for the top 5. So I guess that means he's going to be here in like an hour. Go unbox some action figures. Unbox? Are you crazy? No, I'm not going to take them out of the box. But that is a good discussion point. Oh, you guys can help me. So really quick. Ugh. All right. So I find myself in possession of 2 copies of Slave Leia in the Black Series. Slave Leia, who Disney has come out and said in actual statements that they will never make another figure of Slave Leia because sexism, I guess, whatever. So that
She was
being
so
the case,
hot.
should I keep them both in the box or should I open one? I'm really, really torn. I don't know. And maybe the people out there can give me some kind of an idea.
Do you ever plan to sell it?
Potentially. You know, I mean, like if 10 years from now these things like still in the box are like $300, you bet your ass I'm probably going to sell one.
Keep it in the box.
All right, let's keep both in the box.
Keep it in the box.
All right, I'll keep them both boxed up then.
I didn't want to interrupt the stream or anything, but we have like so many new people in the chat tonight.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, I see Blue Sasquatch. I see Blue Harvest Toys. Scarif After Dark. Isaac. Scott's in there. Tom. Who else? I think I saw Duffman. Yeah, there's Duffman's Diorama. Hi.
Oh, and I think you had already stepped away, Kelly, but I got a text from Dave. Well, you're on a text string too, where he might actually be here before the end of the show. So
at the end of the show. So basically, just in time for Hennifer.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if he's up for it. He might be, based on where he is and what he's doing, he might be extremely frustrated by the time he gets here and may not be in the mood to bring out Miss Lopez. So we'll see.
Did you have to use the bush outside your studio?
I think I'm actually good for now.
Okay.
So if you're ready,
I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to do a countdown and then we'll get back to it. And we're back. So, getting back to some of the music of 95, I had some notable debuts to talk about.
Yeah.
And we've kind of touched on some of these already. The first one is, again, I call 95 the year of Alanis because this was you know, even though she had been making Canadian pop music in
Mhm.
years prior, 95 was when she released Jagged Little Pill,
Mhm.
her grungy, rocky, whatever. I don't even know what style of music you would call this album. That, you know, it was
Yeah.
that female angst that you mentioned.
Oh,
The woman scorned, the Dave Coulier love letter, so to speak.
it goes
Um,
so far beyond female angst.
oh yeah,
I love that album, except for one song. There's one song to this day that I really can't stand off that album.
really?
Yes.
Because I tell you what, as a whole, I love the entire album. I
Hmm.
think it's so personal, and you can tell like the shit that she's writing in this is like from her own life experiences, you know, growing up in the music industry as a
Hmm.
teenager, like these personal breakups, like going to Catholic school.
Oh
Like
yeah.
she brings all of this to the table, and you can tell it's so raw and so
Hmm.
real.
Yeah.
And you know, some of them are like hard truths that, you know, she's
Hmm.
gotta get out there. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think as a whole, it's a fucking phenomenal album, and I understand why it's so popular, and it's one of those albums that never got old for me. Like I can still listen to it from start to
Oh
finish.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably know every word to every fucking song on this album.
Exactly. And I can to this day I could still scream that song. You know, you ought to know.
Oh
I
yeah.
do know the entire album. The only song I don't like though is "Isn't It Ironic?"
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Ironic. That just gets under my skin because some of the things are ironic and some of the things are just bad luck. Like, come on, Alanis.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think
yeah,
after that song hit big, that single came out.
yeah,
Yeah, she did take a lot of flack for a lot of the things not being quote unquote ironic, and
yeah. Some of the things are just like shitty. You know,
yeah.
it's not ironic. It's just shitty.
Hmm.
You know,
So,
so.
and I can certainly understand the criticism there, but
Mhm.
I don't have as big of an issue with that track as I know a lot of other people do. It's
Mhm.
just whatever. It's just bad songwriting.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
just didn't care for it. But
bad
you
grass
ought
under
to
English
know,
language. Yeah.
dude, I felt every single bit of that song. I know a couple of people knew me back then.
Hmm.
Uh, I was in this on again, off again relationship with this piece of crap guy that I was trying to save, you know, because I'll make him better, you know. And
One of those.
yeah, he was a total piece of shit.
Mm,
He was into drugs, you know, drank a lot,
yeah.
cheated a lot on me, and you know, it would be on again, off again. So that song came out, and I was like, I love this song. This song is like my life, you know,
Yeah.
and that's actually when I did finally break up for the last time with that guy. And, you know, I started dating, you know, just barely dating other guys, which, you know, I'm no longer in high school. So, like, guys want to date me. You know, I didn't date in high school.
Yeah.
I wasn't the cool kid. So, you know, I started going on dates here and there. And none of them really meant anything, but still, I was like, you know, revenge dating almost, you know.
Hmm.
And every time I scratch my nails down someone else's back, I hope you feel it. You know, that was like, yeah, sing it.
So here's a funny story.
Loved it.
Here's a funny story regarding that exact line from that
Yeah.
fucking song. So I was dating a girl the summer of 95 where, you know, when the song was huge,
Hmm.
and like I was really into this girl, and she was not really, I could tell she was not that really into me, but she was still
Hmm.
hanging out with me just for reasons, whatever. I think she just had nothing better to do. And well, and honestly, and I think like the time when it really dawned on me was when, you know, we were talking about that song, and she's like, oh yeah, that part where, she's talking about scratching her nails behind somebody's back. She's like, yeah, I remember when I did this with my ex, we were fucking or whatever, and I scratched my nails really hard down his back. I'm like, I don't want to hear this. I don't
Why
want
did
to hear
you tell
this.
me that?
Yeah, why are you saying this to me? So that was the kind of the moment where I realized, all right, yeah, this probably isn't going to work. As much as I'm into this person, she clearly does not give a shit about me or my feelings or anything. So
Yeah.
so
What?
in fact,
Dumbass.
I kind of couldn't listen to that song for a while after that
Mhm.
because I was so into this girl, and it was kind of heartbreaking when it
Yeah.
never really panned out, and then I couldn't listen to that song anymore because of that fucking
Mhm.
line. But
Yeah.
I was able to let it go eventually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. And honestly, for anybody out there who for some reason missed this album, which fuck, I didn't have the chat up. For anybody who missed this album,
Dude.
listen to the whole thing, like not just the singles, like because there were she had a lot of singles on it. She had Hand in My Pocket, which is probably my favorite song on the album.
I like that song.
Ironic, You Learn, a bunch of others, but a lot of the songs that aren't singles are actually really good songs. And again, they're like these personal stories about like dudes trying to take advantage of her when she was younger, and being in the music industry, and just like all kinds of fucking wild shit.
Yeah.
But they were all good songs.
It was raw emotion. It was truthful. It wasn't any of that candy shit that we were fed in most pop songs,
Sure.
oh, everything's so happy, and either I love you or, oh, we broke up, I'm always going to miss you. And this is like, this album, that song in particular was like a big fuck right off, like you destroyed me, and I loved it. I loved it.
So can you look at Uncle Joey the same way again after hearing all the lyrics to that song? Because I mean, the assumption is that it was Dave Coulier is the guy that she's writing about, because apparently they dated, and the age difference there is like creepy in itself.
Right. Because she was young.
Yeah, especially when she's talking about going down on him in a theater and all this other thing. It's like, whoa, okay. But yeah, it's funny if that really was him, even though they both like are so coy about it to this day, fucking 30 years later, for some reason. They won't really admit it. Yeah. So it's just funny just thinking about that guy as the person that she's fucking singing about and angry at.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I've got really special place for that album. That got me through some hard months right there.
I believe it. Just fantastic album overall. Jewel made her debut this year.
Yes.
Yeah, she wouldn't really become popular again until 96, but her album Pieces of You was released in 95, so that's when she made her debut with I think You Were Meant for Me was her first song.
Yeah.
Which was good. I mean, I didn't dislike her in those early days. She was fine, but
another tape that I had, another cassette album that I had that got me through breakup times, because a lot of songs on that album.
Well, Foolish Games, which was released as a single the next year, I think, or 2 years ago, because allegedly,
love that song.
Yeah, allegedly she dated Sean Penn at one point, and that song was about him and their breakup. About the way he kind of treated her. So it's like, fuck, man. Yeah, this was the year where all these women were like, all right, you know what, motherfuckers? It's time I expose some of your bullshit. And they put it.
See, that's the really cool thing about Gen X. We didn't need to have a big Me Too moment. We just utilized the shit out of that stuff and made money off of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, she made her debut, and of course, we already talked about Hootie and the Blowfish. Yeah, they're whatever.
They're good. They have a great sound. They weren't for me. They got played out. Meh.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm in the exact same boat when it comes to them. So before we start talking about like some of the top singles and top albums of the year, I do want to mention some notable soundtracks.
Yes.
So, we had a lot of interesting movies released, and there was also the soundtrack to a TV show that was played over and over again.
Yes.
Friends, the show about six, white people living in New York in one of the most luxurious apartments that there's no way they could have actually afforded, and the theme song, "I'll Be There for You," got played
Ross only lived in
over-
that apartment, in the same apartment building, for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Ross didn't live in that apartment building. Only for like 2 weeks, though.
that's true. But yeah, no, it was the "I'll Be There for You" song. So here's the what's it called? The story about how allegedly this happened.
Yeah.
Was, the show came out, was extremely popular right out the gate. One of those Thursday night NBC shows. And a radio station apparently took the theme song, chopped it up, and turned it into a song, like from the TV show, and then just played that on a loop on the radio one day. And apparently it kept getting a lot of requests. So the Rembrandts, who did the theme, actually recorded a single version of it after that response, and that's what created this single version of "I'll Be There for You" and the music video that happened with it and all that. And it fucking blew up, and it was one of the most popular songs of that year.
I love that show.
Yeah, I like Friends. I fully admit it. I don't know if it stands the test of time, but at the time I enjoyed it. I watched pretty much every season. So
Some of the stuff now can be a little bit cringy, like some episodes didn't age well, but I watched it from episode 1. I was right there watching the pilot. I was right there 10 years later watching the finale. And I own all 10 seasons, so
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it was I don't think I watched it religiously for the first couple of seasons. I think it wasn't until Kristen and I started dating, where
Right.
we started watching it, consistently every single week. But yeah, it was just one of those mainstream TV shows, and that theme song was everywhere. It got played all the time.
That was one show that when DB and I moved in together, that was one show I would not give up. When you get together and you move in with the other one, and then, well, they want to watch this show, and then Friends was the one time slot that I would not give up.
Yeah.
So DB started watching Friends, even though he didn't like it, and now he knows all of the Friends.
Did he eventually come around?
I think he doesn't love it, but he appreciates it for what it is, right, DB?
And also in 95, a little movie came out called Batman Forever.
Yeah.
So a lot of hype behind this movie, despite how people look at it now, because apparently that's one of those movies that has not stood the test of time and then gets a lot of shit nowadays. But you got to remember, this thing was fucking huge in 95. Like the Batman movies, the first two with Michael Keaton were fantastic. The Tim Burton ones. And this one, was supposed to carry on, was supposed to be another sequel to those, but they recast Batman with Val Kilmer. But then they brought in Jim Carrey, who was at his fucking peak at this point.
Yeah.
He had done Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask. He was on top of the fucking world. So when they brought him in to be the Riddler in this Batman movie, like, everybody lost their shit. So the hype machine was like full fucking speed ahead for months before this movie ever came out. And one of the things that came out of that was the soundtrack, because you had a U2 song, the "Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me."
Yes, we
which
got
is pretty
a
decent. I liked it.
we got a
But
few
then,
requests for that too.
of course, there was the one song that everybody knows, and that was "Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose." Yeah, "Kiss from a Rose" by Seal. Holy fuck. Whether you liked it or you didn't, you heard it all the fucking
All the time.
But I actually liked it at the time, so because I was like super hyped for this Batman movie. So when the music video for this came out, I would watch it every time it was on because I wanted to watch the Batman clips and all that. And yeah, I was so hyped for this movie. Saw it with my best friend Robert when it first came out. So yeah, he and I saw it together. Funny story. So I was working as a security guard at the time when this movie came out, and the assignment that they had given me that day was to watch a bowling alley where it was like one of the more popular bowling alleys in town that had closed down, and they were starting to take all of the equipment out, right? And I was just supposed to make sure nobody like fucking stole anything. And these
Right.
guys who were taking the stuff out, they're like, because everything was still there and functional, they're like, dude, you want to like bowl for a while? So, yeah, I'm sitting there bowling all day working as a security guard watching this bowling alley, and I'm supposed to be watching Batman Forever, and they're like, fuck, it's going to take another 2 hours. So I had to
Right.
call Rob and be like, dude, is there any way you can exchange those tickets for like 2 at a later showing? And he eventually did, and then we still made the movie. So I thought I was
Oh, nice.
because we had tickets for a specific time, and they told me I needed to work later than I had intended, but
Right.
I was bowling that whole fucking time. So, but yeah, the Batman Forever soundtrack again. That Seal song was played so much. That song,
So much.
and yeah, I never disliked it. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but
I'm afraid to say it, but I don't really care for it. I know a lot of people love that song, and it is a beautiful song. And you know, from a music appreciation aspect, it's beautiful. He can sing it. He's got a powerful voice. I was a rock chick. I'm sorry.
oh yeah, and I kind of figured, but you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't replace the fact that it was still huge in '95, regardless.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I was singing Alanis. I wasn't singing love songs. So
Right?
yeah.
No, I hear you. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
you were at that stage in life.
I was going through it.
Empire Records. The movie
Yes,
Empire Records
I
came
love
out.
that
which-
movie.
It's a shame Dave's not here because I know he really has an affinity for that movie as well. I think mostly just because of Liv Tyler. But either way,
Dude, she was hot in that
yeah, that was one of
Yeah.
her first roles too.
tiny
But-
little plaid skirt. You know, guys love tiny little plaid skirts, midriff sweaters. You know,
Yep.
yeah.
And the biggest song from that soundtrack, I think, it had a pretty eclectic soundtrack. A lot of big artists at the
Oh,
time.
I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Was the "Till I Hear It From You" by the Gin Blossoms.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was
So,
a new one. That was a new release.
yeah.
To this day, that's one of my top favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's a movie about music, about working in a record store. And you don't know how bad I wanted to work in a record store. I actually put in applications at our tiny little record store that we had in town. And, you know, of course, they didn't need anybody because it's a small time record store and they had
Yeah.
2 people working there. So, but yeah, oh, I love that movie so much.
I guess you didn't have a Sam Goody or a what was the other one? I was just having this conversation with somebody a couple weeks ago at work. Back at every mall, they always
Yeah.
had like 2 music stores. It was like Sam Goody and something
Listening
else.
booth. There was a listening booth. There was Galaxy of Sound. There was Sam Goody. There was DB. Help me out. What happened to that place before it changed into FYE?
Yeah, so the chat mentioned
It was
Tower Records.
before
FYE.
FYE. It was bought by FYE.
Was there-
Before FYE.
Was there one called Musicland? Musicland sounds familiar.
It wasn't Tower Records. I did go with a Tower Records once, though, in New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But
It had
either
2
way.
floors.
Yeah, you know, every mall had a couple of music stores, which that's
Yeah.
where I got all of my CDs for years.
Hmm.
I was going down to the local mall to the Sam Goody or whatever the other store was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that makes me think of Empire Records. Another movie that came out that year, Friday,
Yes.
which featured the Dr. Dre song "Keep Their Heads Ringing," which was one of the first Dr. Dre songs that I actually enjoyed because I did not like his early solo stuff, like his shit with Snoop
Right.
Dogg and all that. Didn't like any of that stuff, despite being a West Coast guy.
No
Wasn't
Dre
really a big
Day.
fan of that stuff, but this song for some reason like really stuck with me. And then when California Love came out later in the year with him and Tupac, I was like, oh yeah, this is good shit. So that was finally where I started to appreciate Dr. Dre.
Mhm.
We had Clueless, which you
Clueless!
mentioned you just
Just
recently
watched
watched.
it last night with
Yeah.
with Shanti.
Yeah, so you know, Clueless, they had the Kids in America song.
If
Yeah, but yeah, great fucking movie just in general.
One of those songs actually made my honorable mention, so we'll get
Oh,
to that
really?
later.
All right.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah.
Another one that I had was, first of all, Pocahontas. Apparently, the soundtrack to that movie actually went number one for a couple of weeks
Yes.
in '95, and I can't even
Yes.
remember like what the title song from that was.
Colors of the Wind.
Oh, right, and that was
Mhm.
by the person, the one person that does the things. All right,
Natalie Cole?
no.
No. Okay, Nicole Shanti, you two requested that one song for me, and I am having a mind loop, and apparently so is Jason. Who sings that song again?
Yeah, I'm doing it. We're doing
Vanessa
it live.
Williams? Is it Vanessa Williams?
That would seem right.
Ah, Nicole said Vanessa Williams. Yes.
Vanessa Williams.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Because yeah,
Shanti
she's pretty
said it
big at
too.
this point in the '90s. All right,
Yeah.
very good. So yeah, that
There
was
was
big.
also one more, Jason. Vanessa Williams with Colors of the Wind and Toy Story.
Well, yeah, Toy Story was the last one that I had, and that was
Yeah.
like all the Randy Newman songs. You know.
Yes.
Obviously, you got a friend in me. And then you also had the strange things are happening to
Yeah.
me. I fucking loved Toy Story. I took another
I did
girl I was
too.
dating, not the scratch my nails girl, but another girl I was dating after that. I went took her to Toy Story, and I fucking loved that movie. Like I didn't
loved
think I
it
was
too.
going to, but god damn, what a
Mhm.
great fucking movie. And yeah, a good soundtrack. And this was my first real exposure to Randy Newman. I know he'd been around for a while, but this
Yeah,
was,
but you know,
this
we were
is where
18. We didn't listen to Randy Newman.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
this
not
is
at
the
all.
first time we ever really heard him. So
So, but yeah, the Toy Story soundtrack,
yeah.
another great one. So,
Mhm.
did you have any other notes for movie soundtracks?
No. I did have one other movie though because it made the trinity of my favorite 1995 movies, Mallrats. And their soundtrack wasn't really that great, but you know, it was that coming of age movie, just like Clueless and just like Empire Records, you know, so I think they only had like one song, but I can't even remember that one song that made the charts.
And yeah, there's one other big movie too, like,
Mhm.
and I didn't mention it on purpose because it was probably the number one single of the year.
Mhm.
Gangsta's Paradise from
Coolio.
Coolio from the Dangerous Minds soundtrack.
Dangerous Minds,
But
yeah.
yeah, Gangsta's Paradise was another just huge fucking song that year. And if you look at Wikipedia, it was the number one single of the year.
I
for,
believe
1995.
Melanie Marquita is in the chat, and she actually requested that whole soundtrack be put into our mixtape 1995.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that the soundtrack.
It's Dave!
Hold on. Oh, whoops.
No, do that one. Do that one.
Hey!
Hey!
Well, we have a special guest arriving in the studio. They can't see. Your camera's not plugged in, so. All right. Well, yeah, he was giving us the finger though. So I'm gonna make a little bit of room for Dave while he gets plugged in. Oh, yeah. I put that there so you would play with it a little bit.
So would play with it.
He's breaking my new lightsaber already.
What is Dave playing with exactly?
My new lightsaber that I was anxious for him to get his hands on because it's
Lightsaber.
fucking awesome. So, yeah, just hold down the button for a few seconds. And it's got like a whole litany of colors too. But we'll talk about that after the show. So whilst Dave changes right in front of me and just takes off his whole shirt, fuck it, why not?
Woohoo!
We'll get him caught up. So yeah, we were just talking about soundtracks and all of the notable soundtracks from '95, be it Friends, Batman Forever, Empire Records. Empire Records. It was a shame you weren't here when we were talking about it. 'Cause I know that was a favorite of yours, David. What? Empire Records? The movie? Liv Tyler?
Liv Tyler?
Oh, yes.
You've mentioned
Tiny
many
little
times on
plaid
the show
skirt?
that you. All right, he's
And not Empire Records or I've said that thing you do. I talked about that thing you do a
Oh,
lot.
I thought you were talking about. Oh, never mind. Maybe we got it. We got our streams crossed. But
Yes.
Still, Liv Tyler, tiny little plaid wraparound skirt. I mean,
all right.
come on.
Um, so he has some show and tell stuff. Should we just like pause the main topic? Do you have things you want to talk about, or should we continue with the music discussion?
Keep going.
All right, we're gonna keep going with the music discussion. All right.
Okay.
So let's talk about some singles since we were already talking about Gangsta's Paradise. I'm gonna read off some of the other top singles of the year. So number 2 is Waterfalls from TLC, and number 3 is Creep from TLC. So you know, another big year for them. This was not their debut year, but this new album that they released in '95 was huge. All these singles were very, very popular. If you're into that kind of thing.
How many times have you said 95?
95, only once actually. Now twice. Number 4 was Kiss from a Rose by Seal that we already talked about.
Yeah.
A lot of Boys to Men songs this year.
Yeah.
Boys to Men were just kind of like, eh. I didn't dislike them per se, but that shine wore off very, very quickly, and like all of their shit started to sound the same.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
sacrilege in Philadelphia.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, we're saying that in the presence of the Philly guy.
Well,
Yeah.
Look, I'm not a huge Boys to Men
Put
guy.
your mic in front of your face if you're going to talk.
I-
Ah, Jesus.
I'm not a huge Boys to Men guy. However, hang on, let me get into the link here.
All right. So Dave is starting to join us, but we'll keep
Trying
going
here.
We'll keep going down the list. Real McCoy, who we talked about in previous episodes, released their song "Another Night," which I actually like. Another night, another dream, and always you.
Vision to blow. Select the right camera.
But you know, it's funny. Like all these Real McCoy songs from the early '90s, like for some reason, really stand the test of time for me. And like a lot of these dance songs from the early '90s, for some reason, I still hold in high regard, even though I didn't necessarily like them back in the day. Yeah, they've always withheld.
Stand by.
You good? Are you here?
Not yet.
All right.
I'm collecting.
Okay. All right. Can the people out there hear Dave? Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Aside from the
I can hear him,
from the microphone banging.
except it probably,
God.
I can hear Dave, but I don't know if anybody else can.
Hey!
Hey, we're all messed up.
All right.
Jason, click and drag.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me do it, Dave. Oh shit. Nope. Nope.
Yes. And then
Oh, let's go.
click Dave and drag.
Ah,
Yeah.
there we go.
All right, that works.
It's the story of a lovely lady. That's what I'm thinking. As
Ooh.
I'm doing the-
And look, row, it's square row. I'm on the square.
I barely had time to make it to the podcast, let alone.
Well, yeah.
I
we're an hour and a half late.
understand. You
Because
know.
somebody. Well,
I'm closer to I wanted to be here at like 3:30.
yeah. So let's talk about this real quick since you're here and you've already broken our flow.
Right.
Let's so
good
you,
like that.
you're out and you just decide on a whim, I'm gonna buy a car today.
Listen.
Listen.
Yeah, dude. Like, were you really buying a car? Or were you like in a hole watching the Rose Bowl somewhere?
No. If I was doing that, it's 14-7, by the way. For
Thank you, because I haven't got my update. Penn State's the
Penn State's
14 one.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Penn State.
All right, so let's get back to the car discussion.
All right, car, whatever.
No, not whatever.
So here's what happened.
Okay.
So this morning we woke up and there was, we're like, hey, it's the last day of Kathy's vacation, so we're gonna go do something.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Fix your glasses. Like they're like up into the,
Oh yeah, it's that headphones and the
Headphones.
right. It was all right.
Oh, thanks, CB. Oh no, it's 14-14 now, Dave.
Motherfucker. Yeah, they did just throw a long ball. Anyway. So we're like, all right, it's last day of vacation. Let's but I want to be at the studio early because we got, construction that we want to do and some other stuff. And so I'm like, okay, I want to be there no later than 4.
Mm-hmm.
And this is at like 9:45. So Kathy's like, well, Longwood Gardens opens at 10, so we could let's leave as soon as I'm ready, and we can head over there and fart around, do
Plenty of
whatever.
time.
Plenty of time, right?
Yeah.
Plenty of time. So, my car, the venerable 2014 Escape, has been having issues. It's been having a check engine light that doesn't have a code. It doesn't throw any codes, so you don't know what to fix.
Right.
To make it clear said codes, and it's been a little bit befuddling, as somebody who knows how to fix cars. Ironically, and the dealership didn't know how to fucking figure it out either, which is really funny. So
Wow, that is surprising.
yeah, they're like, we don't know if it.
Yeah, fuck if I know.
Yeah, they're like, it might need a new engine. We don't know. So
What?
yeah, literally, I heard them say that. We're in the negotiation process, right? And our guy is in the back trying to figure out what the numbers are going to be, and the other guy's like, it's got this check engine light. They literally took a picture of it. It says engine fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no they plug it in for the codes. There's no codes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no stored codes. There's no nothing. Right? I'm like, yeah, I could've told you that. I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what I think will happen is when I'll do plugs and wires and just do shit like that, and I bet you it'll clear. There's probably just something's just a little bit out of tune. But in the back, I can hear them going like, we don't know why, we have no idea where to even start to figure out how to fix that. So we're gonna just send this thing to auction. So they basically gave us the minimum amount for the trade-in,
Right.
which we weren't planning on. So it affected the negotiation process. So
Oh.
yes, but to get to there, we were Kathy had looked at a few cars because you had that. There's bearings that needed to get done that I planned on doing myself, but doing stuff myself anymore is it's a time thing, right? How much time do we have?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta help John pack, it's like he's getting ready to leave.
Oh yeah.
So there's we're time limited, and between the bearings and needs front end work. So there's a bunch of money that we're gonna have to sink into it. And Kathy was like looking at cars, and we're like, well, here's this dealership. I know a guy there. And so she called him while we were literally on the Commodore Barry Bridge, on the bridge going into Philly. Or going into PA, and we're like, yeah, we'll set it up and we'll check it out on Wednesday, right? Cool. Get crossing over the rest of the bridge, right? This is at the beginning. Now we're getting to the other side of the bridge, and now it's like he calls back. He's like, all right, somebody's looking at the car, so could you get here today?
Oh shit.
We're like,
Ah.
do we have to because we have memberships we got for Christmas. Our in-laws got us memberships to Longwood Gardens, so we're like, we don't have to go to Longwood Gardens today. It was a nice day. It was something to do.
Sure.
So we're like, we can, but it's up in fucking Trenton. So now we're going from so now we're going, now we have to go north. So it's like, okay, look, it's still it's not even 11 o'clock yet. We got time. So what could possibly go wrong? So we're researching and storing up getting our battle rhythm ready, and we get there, and it was a whole thing. When we told the guy we'd be there by 1, and then he had to go get to another dealership location to pick up the car and bring it to us. So we're kind of waiting around for that, and then we took it for a test drive. It was fucking great. Great little car, low miles. It's another Escape. I got another Escape. It's just it's a 2020 now.
Oh, I love the Escape.
Yeah, they're fucking perfect. And
I have a 2019. I love it.
yeah, they're perfect little cars.
Mhm.
Honestly, as much as I wanted a pickup truck, I mean, in reality, they're perfect little cars.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay, this is cool. Kind of, I don't even want to get into all the details of the fucking transaction, but it just took fucking forever.
Yeah.
It's the negotiation with okay, we're trading in this car. Okay, so they had to go look at the car to give it a trade-in value. Okay, cool. right? We had an idea from Kelly Blue Book that, you know, it was going to be worth about this much, but it had 180,000 miles on it. I mean, put a lot of miles on the car. Like, it's a long commute.
Yep.
And you know, we figured that would play into it. I mean, it did in the Kelly Blue Book value. Apparently, it played a lot into it.
Yeah.
So when it came back with the number, we're like, this is going to affect our bottom line by a lot. So we're going to go.
Yeah.
And we would have had plenty of time. If we had got up and left when that happened, we would have left with plenty of time to get here and, you know, fucking, you know, but didn't happen. He was like, okay, well, I said, look, we'll come back on Wednesday, and I'll, because my intentions were, I'll put fucking plugs and wires in the car. I'll make that check engine light go away.
Yeah.
Now give me more money for
Sure.
the fucking trade in, and then it'll get to the number I want. And so the guy went back, and they ended up getting to the number I wanted, and you know, the rest is history. But it just
Woohoo.
it took fucking forever, like to get to the finance guy. It just is like, oh, you gotta wait, and you know, there's one person who's processing all the finance paperwork. It's like, God, sitting there, fucking.
As someone who went through this over the summer, yeah, when you were telling me that, I'm like, I don't think he's making it for the start of the show.
I would have loved to have been like, hey, so I'm gonna go ahead and go, and when this is all squared away, we'll come back.
Yeah.
But he was not interested in.
And you walking out the door?
Yeah, he really wanted us to fucking.
Oh yeah, that's salesman, man. That's
Yeah.
That's how they make their living.
But you know, I actually, like, I was prepared to, like, hey, this is the number, right? And when they put the you know, the numbers, even with the trade-in value, I'm like, okay, this is still kind of close to what we were thinking. So, and they put numbers down in front of us. I'm like, no, if we can't make this number closer to this number, then, you know, then we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
anyway,
Well, carrying on with the music of 95, we were just starting to talk about some of the top singles. We talked a little bit about Gangsta's Paradise, which was the #1 song of the year, according to Billboard.
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Coolio, who
Yeah.
just died last year, towards the end of last year. But, you know,
Yeah.
Gangsta's Paradise was huge that year.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And, like, I love the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those iconic songs that year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it kind of still holds up too.
It does.
I mean, it does for what it was
Yeah.
representing.
Yeah. For those of us not from the streets, I would imagine it's still,
A straight bitch.
I would imagine it still hits close, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's representing something like,
Yeah.
oh, we're white people looking at this is what the streets are. Yes.
Yeah.
Look at that.
We talked about TLC having a bunch of big hits that year, Boys to Men. I had mentioned my love affair with Mariah Carey was fading. Like
Thank
the song
God.
the song Fantasy came out this year, and I'm just like, it was
good.
it was not my thing.
Well, this is the year you graduated high school, right?
Yeah.
So this is like you should have now matured into a place where
Yeah.
Mariah Carey
Jason
was no
grew
longer,
up.
Right.
Yeah, and by the time her next album released in like '98 or whatever, I was kind of done with her at that
Right.
point. So
That's it makes sense.
yeah.
Totally.
Um,
Which is funny because by 95, like, I had already, like, been a year out of fucking high school. And it just to think about when I was going through this list and the music that was in it, it was like, God, it was such a weird time. There's this huge vacuum of time in my life. That is sprinkled with this, because I met Kathy the end of 1994, like New Year's Day 1994, or New Year's Eve 1994.
yeah.
So that's when we met. We started dating, like, basically this time in 1995,
Okay.
like right around this time frame.
Yeah.
Right before her birthday, and then we were dating all through this year.
Okay.
So it was, that's really my recollection of stuff. So I was discovering her musical tastes and things like that, more so
yeah.
than
Because when you
having
date
my
somebody, and especially when you move in with them,
Yeah.
their music becomes your music.
We weren't living together yet. It was, we were dating,
yeah.
but I was like a Jamaican working at some point by the end of '95. I was working 3 jobs. Right.
I was a plumber and a salesman.
I was working 3 jobs, man.
3 jobs.
That is so like if you have to be a certain generation to understand that
The Hey
reference.
Mom
Yeah.
reference,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here's another song that Kelly, you had mentioned the ones that your kids might know nowadays. Here's one that I think has really stood the test of time, at least in my mind. And
Is that
that's
a Dr. Ball back there?
Dr. Ball?
oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
Is that individually like?
No,
like
that came with Tarkin,
Okay,
but it was
sorry. It's been a long fucking day.
yeah.
It's okay.
But the song I was thinking about is Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It." This is how we do it. No,
It's so fucking annoying. It really.
It is annoying, but I do know it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I know it because they play
Yeah.
it constantly.
Yeah.
Like even today, you'll hear it.
Mhm.
I know.
It'll
That's
be
what I'm
the
saying. It's one of
it'll
those
be-
songs that
It'll be constantly dropping.
it transcended the year '95.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe you haven't been saying it. It's like in my head.
I tried not to after the '94 year. '94. I tried to pull it back a little bit this time.
Right.
Mhm.
So some other notable singles. There was Blues Travelers Run Around, which
Around.
we talked about them
Yeah,
at the
we
top.
talked about it in '94.
Yeah,
Yep.
Blues Traveler, really big in '95 because we talked about, well, you weren't here, though their album 4 came out in '94. 94. Their singles didn't start getting released until '95. So,
And that was the case with a lot of these album releases.
yep. Bon Jovi came out with a new album this year, and that
Yeah.
Always song, like I had one of my friends, Austin, he loved that Always song. He would play it all the time. And I will love you always.
Did he like getting it into Pooper?
Not that I know of. But
I dislike Bon Jovi.
oh, I know.
I dislike Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen, and they both had albums out this year.
Yeah.
I like
that-
80s Bon Jovi.
Yeah. How can you not like '80s Bon Jovi? That's
'Cause
my
I don't.
question. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Here's one.
It's a Jersey thing.
So there, one of the reasons why we're doing the movie Old School next month
Yes.
is because Kristen and I were listening to a '95 playlist, and this song came on. Nikki French's remix of Total Eclipse of
yeah.
the Heart.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
'cause
great song to dance to.
Yeah, and I actually liked that version. I like that version better than the original.
Yeah.
But, Kristen and I are listening to this, and I'm like, I can never not think about the movie Old School when I
Right.
hear that song now.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And then that's when we're like, wait a minute, when did that come out? And she's like, February of 2003. I'm like, oh my God.
Ah!
So that's when I sent you those furious texts about,
Right.
we have to do Old School. But anyway, I digress. This remix version of Total Eclipse of the Heart came out that year, which I enjoyed it.
That's good.
New album by Michael Jackson came out that year. That was the History one. That was the 2 albums that had like his greatest hits on one and then the new songs on the other.
Right.
Where he did the song with Janet, the Scream song. He did the Earth song, the You Are Not Alone.
Right.
So
I'm indifferent with Michael Jackson. I mean, I went from a place where I was like, God, I can't stand him. Like, I think when I was in my heaviest, very like anti-established music, area, where I just couldn't get into Michael Jackson at all. But now I'm like, yeah, you can appreciate that he was one of the best to do what he does.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just is what it is. It's really humorous, the wall of Black Series. It's almost like this is what it's come to.
Yeah.
Space wise.
So, because you got to remember, Dave just got here. Where the hell did Kelly go?
She
She disappeared.
she fell. Did she put up a sign or something?
Chris, is she okay?
Hello? Hello?
But yeah, this is what happens because Dave was supposed to come here much earlier today.
Yes.
And see the wall.
Yes.
And see the presentation of the new Black Series figures,
Right.
but he missed it all.
Well, I did watch a lot of your presentation on YouTube.
Oh,
when you
okay.
did it. So I did get to see a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but obviously it doesn't count for what's in person. And I did log in quick enough to see the discussion about now you have two
Yeah.
fucking sexy Leias. God, that really looks like it's choking the shit out of her. Kelly's back.
Hey, you distracted us. Like I went down to go say something to you, and I'm like, wait a minute, she's gone. Where did she go?
Well, I didn't want to draw attention to it.
Well, you did so well that I didn't
sorry.
notice you left, and then I'm like, she's gone.
I'm back.
Yeah. And now I forgot what I was going to say to you, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh,
I know.
sorry.
Wah, wah.
We already talked about Hootie and the Blowfish. I'm sure Dave was a huge fan.
Dave seems like he was a huge Hootie fan.
Listen, it was not the worst.
He
Honestly.
was a Hootie fan.
It was not the worst.
It was so totally played out, Dave.
There was worse.
There was a period of time where I tolerated the music. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yes, with a little love. Yeah,
But yeah, the fact that he went to country
yeah.
is just really interesting. And I'll tell you what actually enamored me more. Like, okay, he was overplayed or whatever else. But then I went down to Myrtle Beach and there's a golf course. Like, he's a huge golfer.
Oh.
And he's like super involved in the area down in Myrtle Beach. So there's stuff like in the golf courses down there that like one of them it's called the Dye Club. It's a Pete. It's like this Pete Dye collection of courses, and like he has memorabilia and all kinds of stuff at this course. So it's just a really kind of cool introspective into some of the stuff that they did with the bands and things like that. So
Okay. Van Halen released a new album this year, the Balance album, which, I mean, for me, I loved the song I Can't Stop Loving You. I can't remember what else was even on that album.
it was a bunch of nonsense. It was I have a note actually that this is when the Sammy Hagar split was getting ready to happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
All the
right.
infighting was happening during this album.
Yeah, because I think it was 96 when they temporarily reunited with Roth
Right.
for that Greatest Hits album.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
not like this. I can't stop loving. Like, I'm not a huge Sammy Hagar fan when it comes to Van Halen. Like, there's some songs where it like really fits and it really goes well.
Yeah, and we did a whole episode just about Van Halen, too,
Right.
so you can go back and
Yeah,
listen
we
to that.
did.
Rest in peace, Eddie.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Anything else on that, Kelly? The Van Halen album? Sorry.
No.
Okay.
Thank
So I'm looking now at the albums that were the best-selling albums of the year. Garth Brooks still had albums that were being released that were in the top of the charts. Like, he owned all of January and some of February with his Greatest Hits album. So he was still releasing stuff, still having that mainstream crossover.
is this before or after he was like he did like this anti Garth
Oh,
Brooks
where he did the other
character?
personality. I think that
Right.
was like another year or two later, something
Oh,
like that.
Like he grew a goatee and now he's
Yeah.
suddenly the fucking like
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah, now I'm hard.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it was the same kind
What a
of
fucking
music.
retard.
We had the
I'm sorry. Am I not allowed to say that? Where am I?
I just yelled at Chris for that, like yesterday. I'm like,
yeah.
can't say that word anymore.
Dude, sidebar. So we were in. Speaking of that word, we were in Walmart. I almost said Kmart, which I'm dating myself, obviously.
You're not the first person to talk about Kmart today. As,
Yeah, I
Kelly
brought up
mentioned
Kmart.
earlier.
No shit.
Yeah.
So we're in Walmart, and Kathy and I were like sifting around all the clearance Christmas stuff, and there's a woman in the aisle next to us, a very very boisterous woman, and in a very loud voice on the phone says, "Man, that boy's retarded." and Kathy and I are like, okay.
Wow.
And then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't say that, can I?" It was like, "Well, he is autistic," and I'm like, "That's not better. That's
That is not better.
like,
That's
oh my
actually so much worse.
I'm like, oh god, I'm just gonna like we should
Just
leave.
walk away.
We should just leave.
Oh,
But it
did you
does,
say
like-
boomer, please? Like,
No.
boomer,
So
please.
this is an older, like, just just one of those big black women that can really, if you're a big black woman, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Like, literally, They have carte blanche to say whatever the fuck they want, and they can get away with it.
What's gonna stop them?
I'm telling you, they like listen. They could say some of the most random shit, and you're just like, okay, yeah, that works. Kelly, your phone's ringing.
Yeah, I just
I
hate
would just
that.
like to reiterate that the opinions of Dave Martin do not reflect those of Jason Roscom or the Sidebar Cantina.
Factually correct, but I was noticing it because I was watching something else like it was something on TV, and it was another one of those things where like that's just another thing that if it came out of the mouth, if that statement that was happening in the Walmart, if that had happened and it was a fucking white person saying that, like, no way do you get away with that. No way. The world collapses on top of you. It's like but sometimes if you're like just a big powerful black woman, you can get away with that shit. There's some days that I wish I was a big black woman.
Okay.
And we thought we wouldn't have a Dave rant tonight.
I know.
That wasn't a rant. I'm just noticing. I was
It's
noticing.
like a mini
An
rant.
observation.
A little bit.
All right. Fair enough.
bit.
So Tupac's album "Me Against the World" came out
Yeah,
this
there you
year.
go. Good segue. Did we talk about Biggie?
And it was we did talk about him a little bit, but yeah, this was kind of a big year for both Biggie and Tupac.
Yeah.
Notorious B.I.G. I
Yeah,
guess I
you know,
should say.
Biggie had the I love it when you call me Big Papa, which I
like that song.
Yeah.
Like you don't
Wait.
care.
Yeah, you know when I really started to like that song was when that movie Superbad came out, and he was dancing with the girl to I love it when you call me Big Papa. Fucking what's his name, Jonah Hill,
Right.
And like for some reason I've always liked that song since
Yeah,
then.
it's I agree. I like it too.
Yep. Let's see what else. Lives Throwing Copper was the best selling album for a week in '95 because we already talked about some of their stuff. What's so funny?
Shanti.
Trust me, I'm still in shock myself. I'm just trying to ignore it. Pink Floyd came out with a double live album that actually charted that year. Pulse. I don't know if I've ever even heard it. Honestly.
Charted, same thing.
Charted.
Yeah.
Charted. The Selena album we already talked about. Bone Thugs and Harmony. A group I had a bit of an affinity for because I mentioned, I was a big Eazy-E fan. They were like an Eazy-E group. Like he helped found them. And I loved First of the Month. Wake up. It's the first of the month. I would fucking walk around all day singing that fucking song. Catch the chicks of the month.
Yes, I've heard you singing that.
Yeah.
Like especially when we were still in because of first of the month.
It's the first of the
We
month.
would get paid the first
Yeah.
of 15.
That's right. I would do that at
Yes,
work, wouldn't
yes,
I?
you would.
Yes. Dave remembers.
Yes.
I believe Brady Big Lovin' and Don De La Snooch both requested some Bone Thugs songs
Nice. And then, of
on
course,
our playlist.
the Crossroads was another big song of theirs. But yeah, their album was the best-selling album for a few weeks. The Mariah Carey's Daydream, Jagged Little Pill, Smashing Pumpkins for a week. Alice in Chains, their third album came out. that
Third
year.
album.
The self-titled album.
There was one song that I really liked off of it, but it's gone. I would
Yeah.
have to Google it. It's like
I was more of a fan of Dirt,
Mhm.
the
Yes.
Alice in Chains album. So yeah, those were some of the bigger albums of the year. So before we get into our top lists and everything, Dave, since you got here late, did you have anything that you wanted to mention, music of '95 wise, before we start talking about lists? Anything that happened? I know you kind of talked about where you were in life already.
Yeah. Well, what happened? Let's see. What did we do in '95? I saw Blues Traveler in concert in '95.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, saw him
that's
in-
cool.
And that was at the height of their popularity.
Yeah.
That was when Runaround and Hook were
Yeah,
big.
I saw them in Lehigh, and it was one of my first like real encounters with an indoor show where there was enough fucking pot being smoked where you were like, "Is this going to
Contact eye?
affect me?" Yeah, it's
Contact high.
yeah, and we were in the top of the stadium too. It was like
Oh, so everything was
Yeah.
floating up.
Oh,
And
nice.
we drove my my Plymouth Turismo. I had a 1980, I think it was an 86 or 85 Plymouth Turismo.
Nice.
that what a hunk of fucking shit that was. I can't believe I actually drove it out of state, let alone fucking drove it all the way to Lehigh.
Dude, Dave, that is so funny because at the beginning of the show, I said how my Dodge 600 caught fire and was totaled in my driveway. Like, it'll be X amount of years tomorrow. The car that I saved up and that I actually bought was an 87 Plymouth Horizon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Plymouth's version of the Ford Escort.
Yeah, yeah.
Very, very sleek.
Yeah.
Very sleek.
Or Dodge Omni, you know, it was
Or
identical
Dodge
to a
Omni.
Dodge Omni.
Wow.
Yeah,
They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah.
yeah. I
It's-
loved my little Plymouth though.
Wait, listen, you can't like these cars, like your cars, both of your cars, like being electric. And the car I've got now is even more electronically dependent. Like you can't get away from it.
No.
It's at a point now where like unless it's something like super basic, you're fucked. Like you better have gotten the extended warranty because you are fucked.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna take it into a dealer, like, oh, we gotta replace this computer, and it's gonna cost you $1 bazillion.
Probably.
Yeah, or you can go get a new one.
Yeah.
It's really
It's they're going with the Apple, thing. So
Yeah.
when your Apple computer, has a problem, you pick it up, you throw it in the trash and go buy a new one.
right. Yeah, and it's not. Oh, is it cheaper now? No, it's not. It's way more expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but go buy another one. Yeah, you can do that, right? Yeah, I am so glad that I have a 1989 Jeep Wrangler that when I just need to like get into something that's simple, and it's like, oh look, it's a fucking stick shift, and like the radio works about half the time. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
And if something breaks, I can fix it. There's nothing on that vehicle that I can't fix.
So, speaking of radio, so Kelly and I were already talking about how we were consuming music in '95.
Right.
Yes.
Like I had, for home use, I had fully moved to CDs at this point. I think I still had a tape deck in my car, but even towards the end of '95, I think I bought one of those adapters
Yeah.
that would hook into the fucking CD player. Kelly mentioned she was like all cassettes still at this point.
Yeah, yeah. I was a poor girl. I waitressed.
Yeah.
Oh, I ripped off Columbia House, so I
Yeah,
had
that's what I
CDs
was doing,
I
too.
had CDs coming out my ears.
Yeah. I was doing BMG and Columbia
Right.
House like it was nobody's business.
Yeah. So
I didn't do that until I got with DB in '97.
Oh, really?
Because I was like, no, you can't do that. That's like stealing. And he's like, no, it's not. Just do it.
Yeah. No, it was fucking crazy
I
how
just mailed them a penny. Like, isn't that what you were supposed to do? It was
Yeah.
Like, hey, send us a penny.
Yeah,
We'll send
it
you
was
all
for a
these
penny.
CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
thought
just
I
didn't
followed
pay
the
them.
terms of the contract.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so weird. Though I got many collection letters in the mail.
Yeah, we did too.
from those guys.
Somebody got those letters. It wasn't me. Anyway, so yeah, I was at CDs and adapters. Like, so I had mastered the art of Velcro. So I had the industrial Velcro, and I put it on the dashboard because I'd gone like, let's see, wow. Did that car drive through your living room?
That was
Me?
you, Kelly.
That was
yeah.
you, Kelly.
Yeah, whatever that.
Dude, that's like all the way. It's Route 6 for you.
Holy shit.
Route 6.
Anyway, my
Yeah.
tinnitus is extra right now.
No, I heard it too.
Sorry.
Oh, good. No, Velcroing between my 86 Mustang and one 86 Mustang, we could do an entire podcast on how many cars I've owned now that I've just added another one.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's Velcro on the fucking top, which I didn't appreciate how much heat was damaging the CDs as they were in there, because I wasn't
yeah.
really like, why is this not playing right? And then I
Yeah.
just go burn another one because you could burn CDs at that time.
Could you in '95? I don't think I.
Where'd you
I-
burn them off
That's
of?
not true. That's not true.
Napster
It was-
wasn't existing yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'99 was the first time I remember, or '98 was the first time I remember somebody burning a CD.
Yeah, because Windows 95 obviously came out this year.
Yeah.
And there wasn't
Yeah.
commercial. It wasn't like regularly available CD burning.
Yeah,
Not 95. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Because we were still configuring motherboards manually.
Yeah. Hard drives are probably still like 100, 200 megabytes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You know,
It's-
Windows
Yeah.
95 was a fucking 8-disc install or something.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
So.
But
anyway.
yeah, CDs.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get to our lists, I had a note in here because My number one most hated song of all time came out this year.
Yes.
The number one like popular released song that I hate. I hated it then. I fucking hate it now. As soon as I start to hear it, I fucking hate this song with every fiber in my being. And I wanted to see if you guys could guess what it was.
Good. I wanted to guess what it was.
Okay, well, so let's hear what your guess is.
Sophie B. Hawkins.
The Lay Myself Down to Sleep song?
Yeah. Why lay me? And it sounds like she's saying, "We love tacos" in the background.
I never noticed that before. All right.
Listen to it. Yeah.
Interesting guess. Dave, do you have a theory?
Just a Girl by No Doubt.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Well,
a good one though.
You are both incorrect,
Oh.
but it is done by a female. In fact, 3 females.
Waterfalls.
That fucking song.
You hate waterfalls.
I hate fucking waterfalls so much. I hated it then. I fucking hate it now. I can't stand TLC because of that fucking song. Everything they do is fucking shit because of that fucking song. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Who hurt you?
I don't know, but it
that's-
annoys the shit out of me.
You know what? I can't hate on it. Like it's not. It's you're touching on something that's. I think there's like this wow. They're just like just weird tonal sounds, and they're just like.
And then when Left Eye goes into her little rap at the end, I like want to just get in the bathtub and open up some arteries.
Well, that song doesn't make me want to kill myself,
Yeah,
but like I said, I
red
was
waterfalls fall at that point. But
I was into rap and the alternative and metal and everything. I wasn't really into the candy pop scene.
yeah,
I'm not.
It was a nice song, but it wasn't for me.
But the funny thing about that song was the radio version didn't have Left Eye's little rap at the end. So the people who did like that song, who fucking made me listen to it on the radio, when it came to that part, they'd be like, "What happened to her little rap thing? I like that part." I'm like, "Ha fuck you, fuck that song, fuck that song, fuck that song."
Before we get into our top songs, there was one I just saw it. I wanted to bring up, like, since you covered like pop and Billboard and everything like that, over in the metal scene, we actually had 2 brothers from 2 different bands who released albums that were competing in the metal genre.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. It was Rob Zombie from White Zombie, releasing, Astro Creep 2000, and Spider One, aka Michael Cummings from Power Man 5000, released
Oh
an
yeah, it
album.
was his brother, right?
Yeah, his little
Yeah.
brother.
That's right.
So we had 2 brothers competing on the metal charts that year. I thought that was kind of cool.
Nice. And we didn't mention the other brothers that actually had a big impact on the music in 95.
Oasis.
I was never an Oasis fan. Never liked them. I thought
There's
they were...
also weird songs too, like Flaming Lips came out with
Yeah.
Don't
I
Eat
like-
Jelly.
I like that She Don't Use Jelly. I thought that was a funny song.
Presidents of the United States of America came out that year.
Yeah, that's all my other deserving mention. Peaches
Mhm.
Yeah.
Peaches for free.
Peaches,
Yeah.
peaches for me. It's just look out.
It was like a happy song. It was happy.
Yeah.
So happy.
So, do we want to do our top list first, or Kelly, do you want to talk about the playlist?
Let's talk about the playlist.
All right.
Okay.
Why don't you do that?
Yes, we had 25 of our followers, only 25, but it was the holidays, so I totally get it. A lot of people aren't really on the socials during the holidays,
Yeah.
Facts.
but we got 25 hours and 4 minutes out of the thing. Okay,
all right.
we
Still a lot of
spanned across 4 platforms of ours, 4 social media platforms. We had followers on Discord, we had Twitter, we had Facebook, and we had Instagram, all giving requests.
Excellent.
359 songs. So it was a really great amount. So the people who were feeding me songs, like, I was just eating them right up.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I did make a top 5 from our followers that was extremely close. All of these fall within one song of each other when it came to requests. That's why if somebody, just so that you guys know, if somebody requests a song that somebody else already requested, it doesn't matter because I just put a tally mark next to that song because this is how we derive our top 5 list from our followers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So, did you want me to say their top 5s or did you want to do it all at the same time?
We'll include them in as we do our top 5s.
Sure.
Sounds
Just go-
great.
We'll just go back and forth.
Which is-
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great.
like that noise you made.
Yes. So, all right, are we ready to get into them?
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right.
ready.
So we'll do the typical. So we'll go me, Dave, Kelly, Cantina, Kelly, Dave, me, and just go back and forth like that.
All right.
Okay,
Everybody got that?
I got it.
All right. My number 5, an album that we have not talked about yet that got released this year. Ace of Base released their second album in '95, the lesser known album because everybody always knew I saw the sign.
Right.
Yep.
I got their second album. I liked that song, the title song, "Beautiful Life." It's a beautiful life.
Oh,
But listening to that whole album, it was a very different, very more personal album for them. And my number 5 song of that year was the song called "Edge of Heaven" from Ace of Base, from that album, The Bridge. It was not released as a single. It's just a song that I listened to, listening to the whole album, and I fucking loved it. And that was my number 5 song.
Nice.
So one that nobody probably ever would have guessed. So
definitely not me.
yeah. So Dave, your numero cinco.
So my number 5 is by a band called Better Than Ezra.
Ah,
It's
good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
The song good. From
That-
Better Than Ezra.
Good.
Yeah.
It was.
It got a lot of play.
There was a lot of songs in 95 that, I turned 21 in 1996. So there was a lot of this music that turned into the cover band music of bands I was seeing in bars.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
So like when we're going to places and seeing cover bands, like, bands down the shore and places like that, this is the music they were playing. They were playing like, Goo Goo Dolls and, Better Than
Oh
Ezra.
yeah. We haven't talked about Goo Goo
Yep.
Dolls or
Name.
or the Gin Blossoms earlier. We
Right.
briefly
Yeah.
talked about the Gin Blossoms, which, by the way, for some reason, all the women loved the fucking Gin Blossoms. I don't know what it was, but
It was the
like,
first concert I ever went to.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, women loved him. Didn't
Yeah.
see that one coming. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. But that was my number 5.
Got number 5. It's not a bad song. It's very catchy and got a lot of play.
And
So
good song.
it's more about how many times I've heard it in being played by
Other bands?
by cover bands,
Yeah.
and just really enjoying it.
sweet.
And then when I played it again, just for the sake of the list, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Kelly, your number 5.
My number 5 is pretty common. It is December by Collective Soul.
Yeah.
Not-
Go
I
ahead.
really dug that song. Not only did I dig that song, but my younger brother, who is in Explicit Noise, by the way,
Mhm.
he learned all these songs by listening to them. He learned how to play them on guitar. This was one song that he played all the time, and if we both weren't doing something, he'd be like, "Kel, come over here, sing back up." So like
Nice.
it was a song that reminds me of my brother. We used to jam to it, and it's a really good song.
Yeah, I liked Collective Soul
Yeah.
back then, and
Yeah.
like I like the song December because my birthday's in December, so I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like
Obviously,
they're
yeah.
singing about me.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Very good. song.
Um,
All right, Cantina's number 5.
Cantina Family. They voted More Human Than Human by
All right.
White Zombie.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, but yeah, I really enjoyed that song. I bought the album when it first
Oh, I
came
love
out, and that was actually featured in a movie the next year, The Cable Guy.
Mhm.
There was a scene in The Cable Guy where they played that song, and it was really good. It fit really well. But yeah,
I
good
did
choice.
not have that album, but Big Sweet had that album, and he drove me everywhere, so I listened to it all the time.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Cantina's number 4.
Cantina's number 4 is The World I Know, again by Collective Soul.
Yep.
Another really good song.
Good music video too.
I wouldn't know
Guy
that part.
basically contemplating suicide.
I did not. I don't remember the fucking music videos for a lot of these.
Oh, I do. I was still like massively plugged into MTV at this point. So
Yeah,
I
okay.
like all of these these songs that we've talked about. I remember the music videos for them.
I can see that.
I did not have cable in 1995. So I did not see any of these music videos.
She lived in the sticks.
I lived in the woods.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say, anybody who's typing songs in the chat right now, like hi Joker Voice, I will go in and add those songs to the album after the playlist, after the pod. So
Sounds good.
yeah.
All right, your number 4, Kelly.
My number 4 is actually a band that we talked about earlier today already. It is Zero Signal by Fear Factory.
Okay.
Like I said, I used to go to clubs before I met Dragon Buddy and became, boring. Zero Signal is awesome. I still like it. It's rocky, it's thrashy, it's fast, and I love to be hyper back then.
I feel like an asshole because like you're saying this and I'm like, God, I don't remember that song. I'm sure if I heard it, I'd be like, oh,
it wasn't
that's
popular at
No.
all. It
No.
wasn't. So don't feel like an asshole.
Right.
I just liked different music.
No, that's perfectly fine. All right, very good. Dave?
My number 4 is out. So after I made that little fucking thing about cover bands, all that other stuff, completely going away from that. So mine is 100% Pure Love.
Oh.
It's just
Okay, all right.
A lot of people have requested that song.
but it's one of those like
Was there some Kathy influence with that at all?
no, not at all.
Okay.
It's all me.
Okay.
No, that is all me. It is all part of that kind of boots and pants.
Yeah.
I have that techno boots and pants influence that I can see. It's on my playlist today.
Yeah.
Like in my workout playlist. It just back to the middle and around again. I'm gonna be there till the end, 100%. Sure.
That's good.
Yeah. Sorry. It's my thing. It's
I
what
like
do.
it. All right. My number 4 was Keep the Heads Ringing. Ring, ding, dong. Ring a ding, 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 dong. Dr. Dre, Keep Their Heads Ringing from the Friday soundtrack.
Wow,
I
nice.
told you, like, I didn't like Dre at all in the early 90s until this fucking song came out. I don't know what it was, but this song was the first one that I really enjoyed of his, and I loved it. I bought the single. Me and my friend Rob would play it all the time in the car. It was great. It was fun. Nothing too crazy about it. Just good fun little hip hop song that went along with the movie Friday, which was a great movie, by the way.
Yeah, did you talk about the Friday soundtrack as one of the ones that
Yeah.
came out this year?
Yep. So that was that. My number 3, Kelly, you briefly mentioned this at the top of the show. A young gal by the name of Shania Twain made her debut this year with
Her debut.
well, no, actually, she had one country album that came out a couple years before that, but did not chart well at all. But her, The Woman in Me, which is like her album that came out in '95, that was huge, both country and on the pop charts. And Any Man of Mine by Shania Twain is my number 3 song. That could have been higher. I fucking love that song. That music video, she was so fucking hot. Holy fuck! Like.
I have no frame of reference whatsoever.
Oh my god! Like just whenever you have some free time, just YouTube Shania Twain, "Any Man of Mine."
Okay.
Nicole
All right.
in our chat right now, she requested that song, so that is on the playlist.
Excellent. See, somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
But yeah, holy fuck! That she was on a whole other level in that. So, but anyway, that was my number 3. Dave, yours.
My number 3 was off the Batman Forever soundtrack.
Okay.
Little U2 song called "Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me."
Yeah, it was a good song.
Yeah, and I mean, Batman Forever, not not the best.
Well, see, we talked about that before you got here. Like the hype though was through the fucking roof. The excitement of Jim Carrey being in it as the Riddler,
But
yeah.
I mean,
in hindsight, no, it's not a great movie.
but I mean, there was fun parts of that movie. I don't know.
Well, it was the highest grossing movie of '95, so it was super popular at the time.
And U2 was part of the fucking soundtrack. I mean,
Yeah.
it had all the things, all the legitimate things to be part of that.
And the music video for that was fucking trippy as hell. It was this crazy animation and shit going on.
it was good. I remember the promos because they were doing like you want to see parts of the movie, like they were doing parts of the music video and then had the movie parts in it too. It was like, it was if you wanted to be into the movie as it was coming out. Yeah. All right, well, let's watch. Let's go.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Ubaldo requested that song, so that's on there too.
Nice.
Excellent. Cool. All right, Kelly, you're number 3.
My number 3 is a song we already talked about several times already, More Human Than Human by White Zombie.
Yes.
It reminds me of cruising around with Swede.
That's the funny thing, too, is
Where is he? Is
speakers.
he in the fucking chat tonight?
He is. Well, he's going back and forth between the Rose Bowl, of course, but
Yeah.
he might be around.
He's not posting updates or anything. It's tied 14-14 still, by the way.
Yeah, last time I heard it, it was on halftime. Hey man, nice shot.
But, to your point, Kelly, so many of these songs growing up for us, a lot of why we love them so much is because they remind us of specific time or
Yes.
specific people
Yeah.
at a certain point in our lives. So,
Yeah.
I can still hear certain songs and think of an exact moment when I was listening to that song and see it just so vividly, like I'm seeing you guys right now. So
Right.
it's there's something, especially again for our generation, I think that music is so special for us more than
Absolutely.
most other generations.
No, I would agree.
Absolutely, absolutely, and just like the bass and the guitar, like like it. Oh,
Yep.
so cool. And when you can feel it, because we all started getting speakers in our vehicles.
Oh,
Those of
yeah.
us who had vehicles, and Sweet had a sweet sound system in his car, so you felt that.
I can totally believe that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I can totally believe that.
Yeah,
All right.
his Colt station wagon.
So we're up to the Cantina's number 3.
Is December by Collective Soul or
Okay.
Collective Soul. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's seems to be a popular song from that year.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Nothing wrong
Go
with
figure.
that. Yeah.
Just
Number
remember-
2.
Number 2 is Gangsta's Paradise. Coolio.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
We
mean,
had a lot of votes for that one.
Yeah, it was the biggest single of the year, so
Yeah.
obviously it's going to be pretty high on some lists.
Yep.
So, and
My number 2. Now, we didn't talk about this album at all, and I think it needs to be talked about.
I think I know what you're going to say, and there's a reason why I didn't bring it up. But go ahead.
Mhm. Now, I'm all by myself. I'm at a mall in King of Prussia, and I found the album and I saved up for it. Foo Fighters,
Okay, I did not.
self-titled
That's
album.
not what I thought you were going to say.
No?
Okay.
Big Me off of that album.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
song that got me. I got that album. I listened to it all the time. I had nobody to talk to about it except for like my own brother. Swede was gone. All my friends were gone. They were all at college or military or what have you. And Foo Fighters, David Grohl came out, did this album by himself, played all the instruments on it. David Grohl was the drummer of Nirvana, in case anybody's not familiar with the grunge scene. And it was like, I needed it. 87? 87.
87-yard touchdown.
Oh, holy shit. Nice. We are.
That's it.
But yeah, I forget that the Foo
But yeah.
Fighters that was the year that they debuted.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had they're still having a pretty substantial career.
Yeah.
ever since, so.
Yeah.
That was before
Band.
David Grohl had any other of his bandmates. He made this album by himself.
Yeah.
So.
Rising from the ashes of Nirvana.
Yeah, exactly.
As we talked
Exactly.
about in previous episodes about the fall of Kurt
Yeah.
Cobain. But all right, very good. So that goes to Dave, your number 2.
My number 2 is by a band called Space Hog,
Oh,
and the song is called "In the Meantime."
I don't know if I know what that is at all.
Oh my god, it is!
Mhm.
I love this song.
it's a good song.
If it wasn't for my number 1, it would have been my number 1.
How does this song go?
I, Jesus Christ, I'd have to play it for you.
Okay.
Like it's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. I'll play it for you after the.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, I see where.
We have some audio aids for my next 2.
Fair enough.
He's gonna play his favorite song. Hey, Jason, that's really cool.
Yeah. So for the, yeah, I love this fucking song. It just is.
I just wish I knew what it was, but yeah, no, that's fine.
In the meantime,
But it was not like a mainstream song by any stretch.
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't know what. I don't know where it got played a lot, but I just, yeah, it fell into my rotation somehow.
Yeah, it's a good
And,
song.
Yeah, it's always been around. In like CD, it's in my fucking library currently. It's one of my. So the true testament to whether or not I like a song at this point, like it used to be, if it's on my iPod, right? If it's actually downloaded to my iPod, then it's fucking something that I want to listen to. It's the same thing with this. Like I can have playlists, but if that is downloaded to my phone, so that if I'm offline for some reason, I can still listen to it, then that's the winner.
Yeah, then
Hence,
Yeah.
every John Williams fucking thing is downloaded.
indeed. All
As
right.
is this song.
Yeah, very good. My number 2, Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
Right.
Fucking love this song. Anytime it comes on, I will stop and I will listen to the whole thing. Loved it then, loved it now. It has never lost any of its luster. It's I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit already, so that's I don't really have much to say about that. But now my number 1 is another album that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
That came out this year, and I've been waiting so long to play this for you. We'll see if you guys can spot it. So let me just make sure. All right.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble trying to sleep.
That was this year?
That was
On
Green
my
Day.
own. Here we go.
Yeah, Green
Green
Day's
Stew.
Insomnia or Insomniac. Insomniac, I think, came out this year. Well, even though they were still riding high on the singles from Dookie, I think When I Come Around was still pretty popular
Yeah.
at this point. But yeah, Insomniac came out later in the year in '95, and I fucking loved Brain Stew. That
Yeah.
was.
Yep.
Yeah, that was by far my favorite song in '95. I fucking loved the guitar from that. It was a very simple song, but
That's really funny because I somehow lost Green Day in the shuffle of all this,
yeah.
of all these songs. But so Green Day would have definitely probably had some ranking in there. But that's yeah, I love that. I love the Green Day of that ilk, that era, like the 94, 95, 96 time frame is
Yeah,
just-
90s Green Day was awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking great shit.
Yep.
Just the sound was amazing. Stuff that you could really fucking just jam to.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
And yeah, something about Brain Stew, I'm just like, yeah, that's my
Yeah.
shit right there. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah, so that's my number 1.
I
Yeah.
wish
95.
I wish I had musical chops to do some interlude as well.
It's actually just 5 very simple chords. So
Lost me at chords.
yeah,
So my number 1
yeah.
is also by the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
It's I'll Stick Around.
Okay.
Oh, I love that song.
It's
Stick around.
it's one of my all-time favorite Foo Fighters songs.
Yeah.
And it's it's kind of the beginning of this Foo Fighters era.
Yeah.
And it really these, like, even Big Me, and it's funny, Luna Girl is like on my phone when I opened it. I don't know
Yeah.
if you can see it.
Ah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
The album.
Yeah.
Album cover.
I had Big Me was queued up on there because I was, kind of vacillating.
Mhm.
I like that song, but I'll stick around as one of those that it kind of sets the tempo for me for what
Sorry, Shanti.
Foo Fighter songs like kind of sound like how everything is built on from there.
Mhm.
It was awesome live. God, when they played it live in Atlantic City, when I heard it in whatever year that was,
Mhm.
uh, dude, it was erection inducing.
Yeah,
It was just fucking
it's a great, just pure rock,
yeah,
just fucking,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. There's so few, if any, like just regular rock bands now.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
there's all there. It's all different genres and different flavors now between like, alt rock and there's all these different
Yeah.
classifications of stuff. But like just a regular rock and roll band, I feel like Foo Fighters is the kind of the last one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they wear that moniker very very well.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah,
All right.
that's my
Good,
number one.
good pick. All right, Kelly, we're up to you.
My number one is actually the same as our followers' number one, and it's a song we already talked about.
Mhm.
It is "You Ought to Know" by Alanis Morissette.
Ah, yes.
That
Yeah.
song became my anthem. I hated men. I hated my ex. He ruined me forever. I was never going to, settle down. I was never going to get married. I was just going to date all these guys and stay single for the rest of my life.
Right.
Mhm.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I know. I met DB a couple months
Yeah.
later. So,
Yeah.
but we were not dating back then. We
had
weren't dating till
tequila.
97.
Had
The
tequila a couple
tequila also
times.
came in August,
Uh-huh.
no, September of 97. So,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dave, you missed our whole Alanis discussion earlier in the show, but yeah,
Oh,
we
sure.
went into that album pretty
yeah.
heavily. Like there was
Mhm.
in fact, one of those songs ended up on my honorable mentions list.
Yeah,
But,
I would imagine.
Yeah, I have
it's on
3.
mine as well.
Okay, well, Kelly, go with your 3 honorable mentions because I have a
Okay.
whole long list.
Well, I kept it to 3. Music I could go on forever, but
True.
one honorable mention is Carnival by Natalie Merchant off
Okay.
the Tiger Lily album.
Yep, she was big
That was
year.
like a really sexy song, like I really loved it.
It got played
She's
enough.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
sucks in concert. Never see her in concert.
Really, because what's
She's an
funny is
asshole.
well, that the 10,000 Maniacs cover
Mhm.
of Because the Night was huge, like the year before, like in
Right.
93
Yeah.
or 94, and that was played live.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
surprising
Yeah,
to hear
but
that she's
that's like, is that really live?
Yeah, that's true cuz it's kind of cuz that was unplugged. That was MTV unplugged.
Natalie Merchant was the only concert I ever walked out on. I'll put it to you
No
like that.
shit. Wow.
I've been to a lot of concerts. Yeah,
Holy shit.
it was that bad.
Yeah, I can't say
It's
I've
bad.
ever walked out of a concert, so that's
Mhm.
saying something.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, she's a bitch.
Damn.
Second honorable mention
Mhm.
in like the complete opposite direction is Boombastic by Shaggy.
Yep, that was
Shagger.
Yep.
Shaggy. It's
Good
a
catchy
really
song.
fun song to dance to, yeah.
Mhm.
Especially when you find just the right guy to dance to it with.
A Jamaican guy.
DB.
They call me Mr. Bombastic.
Again, we're in 95. He came in 97. But yes, I did dance with DB to the song in my dining room. So it was fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
It
right.
was fun.
All right.
And then my third honorable mention comes from the Clueless movie. I Want to Be a Supermodel by
Oh,
Jill
yeah.
Sobel.
That was that the one where they were it was like during a montage scene in that
Yeah.
movie, right?
When they were giving the makeover to
Yes.
Brittany Murphy.
Yep.
And I loved it because the song basically made fun of those supermodels, which, I was anti-model. I was anti a lot of stuff in 95. I mean, come on.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
It's
I
part of
want to be
being a part of the grunge movement,
supermodel.
right?
Yeah. All right. Good songs all around.
Yeah.
Dave, honorable mentions?
So, probably my number one honor. Did you guys? Well, I'll get to my number one honorable mention here in a second. But did you mention that the Jerky Boys album had come out?
We did not. I did see that in one of the lists, but that's not really music though.
I know, but it's just when I saw it, I was like, oh fuck, I had that album.
Yeah. No, I remember. Well, I knew somebody that had it, and I listened to it a lot.
Yeah, it was just one of those funny things that came out.
Yeah.
Silverchair.
Yes.
That was you know, I think
Had a
that-
lot of requests.
Yeah, it's just a really it's a good song. Silverchair.
Great song.
Yeah, I was hoping Wally Frogmore would be in the in there so we can talk about, give some Australian love
Yeah.
for Silverchair.
Yeah.
Hey Man, Nice Shot from Filter.
Yes.
Yep.
Also played at the first concert I ever went to.
Nice.
They're one of the openers.
We mentioned Peaches from President USA.
Mm-hmm.
Had All Mixed Up from 311.
Oh, I
Mixed Up.
forgot
was
that
in
came out.
95?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't
Yeah.
realize. Yeah, I remember that song.
Yep. Again, songs that you have covered bands play.
Yeah.
Had Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill.
Mhm.
And you guys obviously you talked about Jewel, like her debut stuff.
Yes.
And Blink-182's debut was that in '95 also.
Oh, that's right.
Nothing worth talking about was on
Yeah.
it, but it's when they came out.
Yeah, because I think they really started hitting big in like 98, 99 time
Right.
frame.
So my number one, others deserving mention, is "Hurt" by Nine Inch Nails. It came out. It was like,
yes.
It was like on a like a single or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was.
honestly, like this song, as it was done by Johnny Cash in 2002, is one of probably the all-time greatest songs ever.
Yeah.
But their version is great too.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
really,
like
really
both
good.
versions are really good in their own
Mhm.
way.
It's really, really good, and but it wasn't. It wasn't good enough to make my top 5, maybe. But
Hmm.
that Johnny Cash version, Johnny Cash version brings that version up.
Yeah.
And I found a quote online. It was like from Trent Reznor that said, "It's not mine anymore." It's just like,
Yeah.
after Johnny Cash did that, it's like that's his song now.
That's crazy.
And
I
yeah,
mean, Can
that
you just picture it? Like, picture Johnny Cash going up to Trent Reznor.
in
Like,
2002, right? So this
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
Cash died in what? He didn't die. He died pretty soon after that.
I feel like he
when
did,
was it?
yeah.
Like 2003, 2004?
I think it was 03. I want to say it was really soon after that. So this is like one of the biggest things that Johnny Cash did. Like Johnny Cash is on the map for a lot
You're
of
right.
the newer generation because he did this song.
Uh-huh.
And
September 12th, 2003.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anyway,
Sorry, I'm distracted by Joker Voice's comment. I have to go look up a clip of that now, where Jewel apparently mentioned something about her assets. So,
that's
Wow.
that's really funny.
all right, so I'll go through some of my deserving mentions really quick. Alanis, again, like I said at the top of the show, the whole fucking Jagged Little Pill album is fire. It's just incredible. If I had to pick one song, I'd pick Hand in My Pocket, though all of the songs on the album are great.
Except for Ironic.
Big Papa, we talked about that already from Notorious B.I.G. Meatloaf came out with the song I'd Lie For You, which was his follow-up to I Would Do Anything For Love. I actually really liked it. I'd lie for you and that's the truth. Do anything
think I know
you
that
want me
one.
to. Yeah, it was kind of big. Kind of not as big as the other one, obviously. But Montel Jordan, this is how we do it.
Didn't we talk about this
We
already?
did. Bush, we didn't talk about Bush. They came,
I
their-
know.
Their album came out. I really liked Glycerine.
Glycerine,
My
Come
favorite song
Down.
from that one. The Beatles, Free as a Bird.
I see Glycerin bothers me. That song just like there's something in the pacing of that song that just bothers
It's
me.
very slow. We talked about this before. Dre and Tupac, California Love. That came out at like the very end of 95, so that's almost like a 96 song, but still, I figure I had to mention it. Cotton Eye Joe, we mentioned that before. Madonna was still making fucking crazy music at this point. Like every year we in the 90s that we talk about, Madonna always has some hits, and I really like the song Human Nature that she did. I like the song and the video that came with it. Van Halen's I Can't Stop Loving You, and then the two Bone Thugs and Harmony songs, First of the Month and Crossroads.
Yes.
And those are my honorable mentions.
Yay.
So, what else we got? What do we do now?
So
Is Hennifer going to come today?
I mean, she can.
I'll leave that to you two as to how you want to handle that part of the show.
If Hennifer doesn't want to come, I mean, I have the ability to do the reads, but it's up to Dave because I don't know how traumatic car shopping was today.
I mean, we can. Hang on, let me see how intensive the notes are. Did you give the shout outs that you needed
Yes.
to give?
Oh, yeah.
That's all squared
Yeah.
away?
Yeah.
That seems pretty straightforward. All right, well, Hennifer, if she needs to get ready. So
Okay.
So-
All right. Well, so while she's getting ready, Kelly, you got anything else you want to talk about? Any shows that you're going to be on coming up? Any or is that all going to be part of Miss Lopez's reads?
I do have a show coming up. Actually, tomorrow it will be on Hennifer's Reads, but myself and Nicole Marie from Rogue One Radio are going to join Scott and Kim over on Used and Abused, and we're going to talk about Wednesday, the Netflix series, episodes 1 through 4. So I have that coming up.
Yeah, I've caught bits and pieces of that. It's very interesting. Obviously, you can see the Tim Burton influence in it. Like, it's very obvious from the music. They got Danny Elfman. Whenever you put Danny Elfman and Tim Burton together, there's always a specific vibe that you're going to get. And
Absolutely.
And
I
say,
loved it.
Yeah, that Jenna Ortega is fucking everywhere right now. Like, every time I pull up some kind of a news feed that's got any kind of entertainment news, she's always there. Like, she's like just fucking huge right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
She was in that last Scream movie. She's in the next Scream movie too. The trailer for that just released a couple weeks ago. So yeah, she's doing a lot.
And possibly this Sunday, Shanti and I are going to start a gaming stream. We're going to start because we miss gaming together. We had so much fun when we were playing SWOTOR last year, and we really haven't, gotten the time to do that with each other again. So we're going to start gaming on Sundays, possibly this Sunday, possibly next Sunday. It all depends on the schedule. But we're going to do it on the Scarif After Dark YouTube channel. And we're going to be gaming from 7 to 9.
Any particular game?
Whatever we feel like,
Okay.
whatever we feel like playing. We'll be bouncing around. I'm sure people will join us, if they have that game and stuff like that. But yeah, we want to get back into it. We had so much fun, with the clam slams and the huzzahs and the, jumping off of cliffs and.
Sorry, Dave and I just went somewhere else with the clam slams.
No, that's exactly where it's supposed to go.
Okay.
Well, that's what we did when we played SWOTOR. We clam slammed people. You guys, we play Call of Duty and you teabag people. We can't teabag, so we had chick characters, so we clam slammed.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
Yeah, so it's exactly where you were supposed to go.
Okay, fair enough. That being the case, Miss Lopez. Miss Lopez. Okay.
Jennifer.
Hey.
I'm awake.
Hey, yeah, you look like you just woke up. Your eyes are. Oh boy, rough night last night.
Yeah, it's New Year's.
Oh right.
Still hungover.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. Oh my God, hey, that's bad. Put myself back together. Is that better?
Yeah, you're good. Yes,
All
yes,
right.
you're good.
They're looking crazy. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. What am I doing?
I've assumed you're doing the reads as normal.
I feel like my face is on crooked. And it looks like I have a stroke.
Uh,
Do I look like a stroke victim?
maybe a little bit. Did you do a little over the weekend? A little.
Oh, should I have?
I don't know. You tell me.
No, that's bad for you.
Okay.
That's bad. It's bad for your heart.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
It's good for your diet.
Somebody tell me.
You have some hair right in your eyes, like it kind of looks like this. So you might want to
but I can't just throw that.
tuck it behind your ears.
No. Nope, it's not happening.
Was your hairdresser off today?
Yeah. No, I dressed myself today.
Oh, no wonder.
Listen, Do you know how hard it is to put this whole thing together?
I would imagine it's very difficult.
Jennifer, that looks beautiful, by the way.
There we go. Is that better?
There you go. So much better. You look beautiful.
All right, great.
Hmm.
I know we're on a time crunch here, so we're going to go ahead and start with the reads.
All right, let's do that.
All right. You know what I was thinking? I'm going to go ahead and not do the reads. No, I need a microphone. I need my own mic.
Oh, you know what? You make
I
a
should
good
have
point.
my own mic, like right here.
Oh.
So I'm not yelling so much.
Oh, that's...
Maybe that's why I'm hollering all the time. Because I don't have my own mic. See, if I had my own mic, then I would have to scream at you, Jason!
Oh, that is.
I would have to scream at you so much!
Well, I assume you screamed at me out of agitation, not out of thinking that you're not being heard.
It's more for comedic value, honestly, but yes, that too.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll make a note of that, and we'll start looking for a microphone for you.
Yes, I need like the body mic or something.
She's such a diva now. She's got all these demands.
Right?
Microphone.
Right?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
get on it.
I'm working on
Come
it.
on.
I can't produce one right now, but I am writing it down.
Straight out of your ass, boy. Come on, let's go. All right.
Call me boy.
Are you not? Do you not have the necessary equipment?
Are you gonna read or what?
Maybe.
All right. Why don't you do that?
All right. After our stream at 2100 9 p.m. Eastern, after the weekend, I almost read that as wedding. After the weekend is hosting their return announcement stream.
You okay?
That's how they titled it.
Return announcement stream.
Return/announcement.
Return/announcement stream on YouTube. Tune in and see what changes are coming to their podcast. I just struggled with the title there. Sorry.
Struggle bus. It's okay.
The red. Fuck. God damn it. The words are tough tonight, folks. Happy New Year.
It was a rough New Year's, huh?
Yeah. The Red 5 Network has 37.
I'm 37?
Is that accurate? Is there still only 37?
Still only 37.
Woohoo!
All right.
37
I'm 37?
podcasts from our content creators. Check out bio.link/red5. That's bio.link/red5 to browse this amazing lineup. Cantina Family Happenings. The Use and Abuse pod will be covering episodes 1 through 4 of Netflix series Wednesday, tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Not to be confused with Wednesday. Wednesday! Covering Wednesday on... Oh my god, I'm gonna have a stroke.
You look like you already
Oh,
did.
I can't think. The Use and Abuse pod is going to be covering episodes 1 through 4 of the Netflix series Wednesday on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. With special guest Nicole from Rogue One Radio and our own Lunar Girl. Oh yeah, look, there she is right there. Look, say hi, Lunar Girl.
Hi.
She's in the bottom square.
Mhm.
What was I saying? Wednesday, not Tuesday, but Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. Covering Wednesday.
Oh my god.
Join Skype again tomorrow.
So tomorrow is Wednesday, is what you're saying.
So tomorrow, who's
Tomorrow?
on first? Who's on second? At 1700, 5 p.m. Eastern on the YouTubes. Oh, that was confusing. All right.
You can do this,
Oh my
Jennifer.
god. Where's it? Is there any Gatorade around? I may need to.
Just Diet Coke, I think.
Oh god. I need to hydrate better. All right. A booth in the back will be reviewing our Cyber Cantina Fantasy Football Super Bowl on Wednesday. We have a new champion, and it's not either of us.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Sad face.
Sad face indeed. We have a new champion who will be making a special appearance. Oh, really?
Ah, very nice.
Oh, nice. And a new king of the losers. Matt and K. Well, excuse me. That was tasty. It tasted like old fashions. Matt, aka Orange Jacket Guy, Luna Girl. Wait. Matt, aka Orange Jacket Guy, comma, Luna Girl will be contacting you with an address on where to mail the toilet bowl trophy. Bear with me, people. Catch Done and LG live at 1800 6 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Facebook Live in our Sidebar Cantina group, Facebook group. I feel like I have a giant, so look at my...
with Swede, Swede, who is
Swede.
our
Swede will be here.
new champion.
He will be tomorrow.
Yeah,
Don't get it twisted.
it's not official yet.
Yeah, he's not officially the
Well,
champ today.
All of his players played, and
Doesn't matter.
all of
Doesn't matter.
Kristen players played, so there's nobody left to play.
There's still a chance.
No, there's zero chance.
Yep,
It
doesn't
says
matter.
100% and zero.
Game's
I
not over
still have a
tomorrow.
chance. I have a 1% chance to beat Snooch tonight,
Still
but
a chance.
there's no chance.
Swede, you will have to wait another week before you get your adulation.
Hennifer, her Puerto Rican, New Jersey face is going to kick my ass. She's looking at me bad.
Back to the reads.
ATSW, the escape pod is taking the week off. Oh, lucky them. Oh, look at us. We take weeks off and shit. Oh, yeah, we're so special.
Didn't we just take a week off?
No.
Yeah, you just took a week off.
Yes. Yes. How do you know I didn't work?
Well, I don't know I don't know what you were up to over the last year, but I
Yeah.
can see it in your face that something happened.
Yeah, I was working all right. Yeah.
Working the street corner?
Yeah.
All right.
Sexy time.
Ugh.
Sexy time with J-Lo.
I hope you showered afterwards.
Where's your pillow, by the way?
I think it's in the house.
In the house.
Yeah.
Did you fuck
Jason
it?
No.
Jason was doing very bad things to himself.
No.
Fucked your pillow, didn't
Kristen
you?
took it into the house. I think she was showing somebody. or
Touchdown!
something.
You fucked his pillow. Like, it's going to be gross now.
Hennifer, we just got a touchdown.
Yes! We are!
Penn State!
Yeah! You didn't know I was a Penn Stater, did you?
I just kind of assumed.
Yeah. Why? Because the guy I connected to is?
Probably.
It's not weird.
No, not at all.
No, this whole thing
this
is just
This is perfectly fine.
Completely normal.
This is normal.
Completely normal.
Hennifer, it was an 88-yard touchdown pass.
Another one? Man, they're all about that long pass.
Was that innuendo?
Obviously.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, the ATSW escape pod took a day off. Stranger Things happened. Stranger Things has happened. We'll be returning from the holiday break this week with their review of season 2, chapter 8, The Mind Flayer.
Mm-hmm.
Flayer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's called my
You got it.
vocal.
Got it?
Catch Snooch and LG at 1800 6 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays on YouTube. The Orange and Fed Show released episode 62, Christmas stuff, over the holiday. I like their titling.
Yeah.
This is straight to the point. This is this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas stuff.
Like it or not. Here it is. Here it is, fuckers. I'm sure they're rooting for Penn State right now.
Hmm.
I don't think the Fets have any love for Utah.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
We
It's
just
well
got
documented.
we just got a note in. It's the longest touchdown in Rose Bowl history, and the score is
Yeah.
28-14.
Yeah, fuck Utah. Fuck them right in the ass.
I saw Guns N' Roses in the Rose Bowl. The Guns N' Roses Metallica concert.
Oh,
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
nice.
Anyway, carry on.
See, you're distracting us now.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet and his band Explicit Noise released a new cover just in time for Christmas. But that doesn't, like, you can't buy it or anything. You just watch it for Christmas.
Mhm.
If you could buy it or something, that'd be like, oh, you could gift it. Like, oh, look, Jason, I gift you this thing for Christmas. But no, instead, it's just a link. Here's a link on YouTube for this thing.
You know, it's funny you should say that because my brother gifted it to my mother for Christmas.
Like,
gifted the
said,
link.
"Hey Ma, I made this song for you."
That was the gift. That's ballsy.
He's the favorite.
Oh, he's the youngest.
No, he's not the youngest. He's only 1 year younger than me. He's the favorite.
Oh, okay.
He's Mama's little man. But yeah.
I guess if you got it, flaunt it. So, check out the Journey cover Separate Ways, Worlds Apart, over on Explicit Noise on YouTube. You may also see a cameo of moi. My best Miss Piggy impression. Moi. I don't think Miss Piggy had quite the overbite. Moi. Okay. Liam and Sturms made a guest appearance on Scarif After Dark on New Year's Eve. It was definitely exciting to see him among a slew of guests that celebrated bringing in the new year. Catch him on the socials for announcements on his upcoming releases.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're ready? Ready? Here we go. Ready for the big finale?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us at bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina. That's bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina. All one word.
Mm-hmm.
Where you will find our links to YouTube, audio, Patreon, our latest Spotify music mixtape, to include the one that we just talked about today.
That's right.
And all social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Discord, and TikTok. Even though TikTok's, I think, going to be illegal here soon.
Yeah, maybe.
It's bad for you apparently.
What?
The damn Chinese.
Yeah, it's not good.
Why?
Oh, it's they're spying on all your data.
Yep.
They're listening right now.
You know what, Hennifer? TikTok loves you.
Oh, I love them. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
TikTok loves you.
I give them chocolate favorite kisses.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you're a member of the House of Representatives, you're not allowed to have it on your phone.
I believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah. They got spyware on there.
yeah, legitimately. Yeah, it's not.
Oh, well.
Good.
Hmm.
Anyway,
I have 2 brothers in the military. They've been spying on me for a long time, so I don't care.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody's always watching me.
There's a song. There's a song about that. Want to hear it? Here it goes. Everybody's watching you. Also, in our bio link is our T-Bone merch shop. We have our F Cancer and Jason Rose designs, which I wish we had the pillow, then we could have displayed that before you fucked it. Our super sexy sidebar chick, our beloved Hennifer, that's me. Which I didn't get my T-shirt yet, by the way. I'm very upset.
I would be upset too, because that was a couple weeks ago.
Yes, it's been weeks. I got the sticker, which is on the other side of the laptop, but still no fucking T-shirt. What the fuck, Over? Don't say supply chain issues, because I'll fucking kill you. I'll kill you.
Hennifer, cut a bitch.
I will cut a bitch. Don't make me get my knife.
Shake 'em.
You think these googly eyes are just for show? No! Because I'm crazy! The Cyber Cantina logo! New item listing for TIE Fighters. Oh, sorry. Wrong thing. That was a
What?
pop-up. Oh, my hair's everywhere today. Cyber Cantina logo from a Gen X point of view throwbacks. There are t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers and pins, wall art, magnets, laptops, foot cases, laptop cases, notebooks, pillows! It's all caps. Pillows! Just about anything you can imagine. Sidebar family member Wally Frogmore is currently working on a new design for LG that will make an appearance in the shop in the near future. Not sure what that means. Near. I am near. Wait. I am near
It means Wally already started
I am
touching
far.
up.
I am near. I am far. I am near. I am far.
Hennifer, I forgot to tell you, we have a lot of new followers in our chat today who are meeting you for the first time ever.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, hi. Sorry, I'm not on my A game tonight. Yeah, this is not my A game. Jason will tell you I'm usually on fire. Just take time to watch the googly eyes, right? Just have a loop, a constant loop of just googly eyes. Ready?
I'm gonna put that on TikTok.
Anyway, so running out of time. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Send my family members while Frank Moore is currently working on the. Okay. Stay tuned for updates. Make sure you tag us in the socials to show off that sweet ass merch.
I think you killed Kelly.
Are we ready? Are we ready for the next part?
Yes.
Reviews!
No new reviews.
Fucking son of a bitch! We need more reviews. Listen, new followers. Listen if you're in the chat right now. Listen to the hand with the hair and the googly eyes. We need reviews. We need them. I'm talking to you. Is it creepy? I'm looking directly at you. Yes. Yes, it is. But we need reviews. So rate us a 5-star review on Apple. I'm not gonna blink either. Ready? Watch. No blinking. Write us a 5-star review on Apple. Don't have an Apple account? Loser. Our Facebook page has a review feature too. Just screenshot the review before you hit down and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. Tell us what you love or even hate about the show. Jennifer Lopez. That's me. Evil Jennifer Lopez. Or Hank, or Edith, or Mama, or Schmiegel, or somebody will read your review word for word on our next episode. Plus, Lunar Girl, the one laughing in the background, will send you swag.
Yes, they will. It will. If you write a review on Apple, if you write a review on Facebook, wherever, screen capture that shit before you hit send. DM it to me on any of the sidebar socials. I will send you stickers. Lots of stickers. I could throw in red 5 stickers. You can get swag packs. Just I'll write you a cute little note and sign it all by myself. So yeah.
There will be no chocolate flavored kisses
Unless
you do reviews.
We need chocolate flavored kisses.
Do it.
And taco flavored kisses too.
Taco flavored kisses. That's a whole other body part. That's not the hand.
I am gonna have a stroke.
We're not doing that.
Sweet just reported another touchdown for PSU.
Yeah!
Woo! We are!
Fuck Utah, Penn State! All right, I want to go watch the game, so I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for watching, all you new people.
Bye, Jennifer.
Yeah, bye,
Bye.
bye, Jason. Happy New Year.
Goodbye.
Love you,
Happy New Year.
Jennifer.
Bye.
Alrighty. Well, that is that.
that.
Thank you, Kelly, for
Yes.
for being here and
Yes,
for
thank you.
being
Thank you for entertaining everyone.
yes,
Thank you for having me.
always a pleasure.
Thank you for holding down the fort while I
Yes.
was
Anytime.
late.
I loved being you. I even got some brain fog just like you too.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So
You need to
it's-
work on your Hennifer impression.
Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez, not two of them. I couldn't handle two of them. Alrighty, next week, Bad Batch, because the first two episodes are launching this Wednesday.
That's right.
So
Yes.
that's what we're going to be talking about next week. Bad Batch.
Yes.
We've got a handful of Star Wars news and rumors that we're also going to go over. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, Kelly, thank you again for being here with
Thank
us.
you.
Always a pleasure. Dave, thank you for eventually gracing us with your presence. Thank you, everybody who joined us in the chat. We saw there were a ton of new people here tonight.
Yeah.
We love you guys. You are the
Love
best.
you.
And until next time, Dave, Kelly, and everyone else, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Clink. Clink.
Okay. Now what do I click?
What was that?
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything. All right. No after show.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, friends.
All right, Kelly, we'll be in touch.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Love you
Bye.
guys.